Woodbine still cleaning up that semi-fire from earlier this morning. That's 24 westbound there at I-440. The right lane is blocked. And then in Cheatham County, you've got a crash that has closed US 70 just north of East Kingston Springs Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, kids, one and all. Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday edition of the Matt Murphy Show. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's just after 3 o'clock, 3:06 to be precise. And as I say, I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. And this is the week to remind ourselves of the many things that we have to be thankful for. It's episode 931 of our gatherings together on this November 25, 2025. It is also day 313, at least by my math. I might be off by a day or two, but I hope I'm not. 313 of Donald Trump's second administration, which is continuing to drive the liberal Democrats and those in the mainstream media, but I repeat myself, crazy. That's a 1460.5, so there's still plenty of our man DJT to go. And we'll discuss some national politics today with the Speaker of the House of the United States of America. Mike Johnson will join us. It is an interview that we, just in the interest of disclosure, it is an interview that we did yesterday, but because of the day of giving yesterday, we were unable to do it live. Obviously, the National Rescue Mission Radiothon is just such an important part of what we do on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and it's a day that we dedicate ourselves to giving back to our community, to a worthwhile and wonderful organization. I'm going to speak more on that in a moment, but we had an opportunity to speak to Mike Johnson about his support of, obviously, Matt Van Epps in Tennessee District Number 7. And clearly they're taking this seriously, but I do not for a moment believe, and I know a lot of people are worried about it. A lot of people are concerned that there's not enough turnout in some of the more rural areas to see Matt Van Epps over the finish line. Some people are thinking, Matt Van Epps is a low-key, soft-spoken type of guy, and he's going against this, ridiculous, gregarious, out there, bubbly personality type of individual, and there's a danger that Matt Van Epps will lose this. If Matt Van Epps loses Tennessee 7, we've lost the United States of America. This is a district that Donald Trump won by 22 points. I expect that Matt Van Epps will win by about 10 points, but that does not mean that you can stay home. That is only considering that people go and vote. And what I find interesting as I break this down, and we're going to break it down in a number of different ways. We've got the co-chair of the Republican National Committee coming on today at 3:35, Casey Crosby, to talk about their involvement in the race. Obviously, we have the aforementioned Speaker of the House of the United States of America, Mike Johnson. I did ask Johnson, listen for this question. We had a limited amount of time, but I did ask him what in the heck is so difficult about getting back to regular order. It just seems to have taken so much time. That is the only way that we'll stop overspending in the way that we are. And he had an interesting answer to that question. So that happens at 4:05 this afternoon. Casey Crosby, as I mentioned, co-chair. She took over for Laura Trump after Laura Trump saw a successful conclusion to the 2024 election cycle. She'll be with us at 3:35 today in about less than 20 minutes, or maybe a little more than 20 minutes. Do the math, Murph. And Stuart McWhorter, who is the head of the Department of Economic Affairs in the state of Tennessee, who was recently named deputy governor, will be here at 4:35 today. And I don't know what a deputy governor does. As we were talking about during the cross with Chad Benson, I don't know if you get one bullet, you get to put the little bullet in your breast pocket, and then when Ange goes to Mount Pilot, Ange going to Mount Pilot. You got to arrest it. What was the one where he arrested the entire town?
Yeah.
Put them all in jail?
Yeah, well, and then there was that one where he arrested Gomer, and then Gomer turned around and did a citizen's arrest.
Santa save the rails! Santa save the rails! You can't just do a U-turn.
And Barney called him a boob in front of everybody.
Oh, well, can't be calling him a boob.
A boob?
Speaking of boobs, Jackson Williams is here. He's joining the show, producing capably, making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as humanly possible. And if Jackson Williams is in any way annoyed by that segue, he can blame Ken Weaver. Hey, Jackson.
Yeah, go to hell.
Don't be mean. It's Thanksgiving week. We're having a good time. Come on now. By the way, hey, Ken. Nice to see you, man.
How about you,
Me and
boy?
Ken had a fun time yesterday.
I bet y'all did. I bet
Played
y'all
Retro
did.
Bowl.
Back here at home base. Oh, man, you talk about Retro Bowl. I don't know what that means, unless it means what I think it means.
The iPhone game?
The football?
Yeah.
That's like Tecmo Bowl?
Yeah.
I have Tecmo Bowl.
Fat Bowl.
I have the original.
You do?
Yeah.
Bo Jackson?
Bo Jack. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
What was that
fun.
on?
It was on Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Yeah. But I had an old Nintendo. I found an old Nintendo system, and had the game.
Yeah.
And then I had to figure, and they started making new systems for the old games so that you could play the old games because the old dadgum systems were so wanky, and we thought we could remember blowing on. This is before your time, Jackson.
I know. I've done that. I had one of those cartridge-based systems.
And you put it in there, and it doesn't work. Put it in there, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Everybody's crowded around the TV, drinking beer, all mad. That's college. That was college for us. I told you about Caleb throwing the TV out of the window.
Huh?
Yeah.
I think it's before your time, Jackson. Let me in the call, by the way, would you? So we would play a Super Tecmo Bowl. I think this was the second generation, but this was the Bo Jackson, Christian Okoye, and men of a certain age, man, every one of us knows about it.
Ooh, the Nigerian Nightmare.
Oh, man. Christian Okoye was just about as good as Bo Jackson. Ooh. And if you could low-key get away with picking the Chiefs, you'd win a Super Bowl, brother, because you just run that fella up north, run him down south. But we did all kind of different things. You can't change the plays. We played an entire season one year, because what we would do is however many guys were there, like say that was me, you, and Jackson, Kent, we would all play a team, and we'd pick a team. Sometimes we'd pick teams randomly. Sometimes we would have other systems. But then we would just play the entire season. And you would let the computer play, auto-play the games that you weren't involved in. And this thing took an entire weekend to accomplish. But you'd play all night. And so there was a lot of time investment and a lot of beer drank. And my buddy Caleb was I think we were playing really good teams that season because he was the Miami Dolphins with Dan Marino. And he played in the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles. And the computer, and we were at a point where we always beat the computer. There was never a question that you were going to beat the computer. And the computer decided in the Super Bowl that Caleb was not going to win. And Caleb did not win. He lost on a end-around sweep by Randall Cunningham that gave the computer a victory. And Caleb was so upset about it because Randall Cunningham, he tackled him like 5 times, and Randall Cunningham just threw off the tacklers and kept running. And so Caleb got very, very upset and threw my 27-inch television through a window.
Goodness.
In his defense, he bought me a new one. So that was nice. Okay, so, I had that going for me, so that was nice. Anyway, so Afton Bay, Tennessee District number 7. Look I find it interesting, this circular logic that I'm hearing from a lot of liberals on social media and a lot of liberals on talking head networks. Oh, they're worried about it. Oh, they're talking about Afton Bain. They have to be worried that Afton Bain. Well, we're taking Afton Bain seriously in as much as she is the Democrat candidate for the 7th Congressional District. Secondarily, what are we supposed to do with this crazy person? And look, I've had Afton Bain on the show. I've invited her on the show repeatedly during this cycle, and she turns me down or just ignores me. By the way, Afton Bain did tell me, and I'm very interested in this, isn't there a type of pneumonia that is contagious?
I gotta look.
On the super text line, y'all need to tell me if there's a type of because I thought some like viral pneumonia was contagious. And I don't know what kind of pneumonia she has, but Afton Bain told me last week that she has pneumonia. And
bacterial pneumonia is contagious.
well,
So is viral pneumonia.
okay, so it's contagious. Pneumonia is contagious. Then what the hell is she doing out at church in Dixon this weekend? I mean, legit question, y'all. Either she's, not telling me the full truth, and I don't know why she would lie about it. She said, I'll just read it to you. Hello, Afton. We'd love to get you on the schedule this week. Any time for Matt Murphy. And then I had to retext. So disappointed after all we've been through. You're ghosting me. Ha, ha, ha. She laughs. There she is. When are you coming back on? I fear you're being told not to come on the show. You need to come back on the show. You understand if you don't have moderate conservatives in the 7th District, you don't have a chance of winning. And that's when she said, and this was Friday, last Friday. I'm so sorry, Matt. I have pneumonia, and I've been really sick. And I said, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you going to be okay? And she didn't respond. And so on Sunday, after seeing that she had gone to a black church in Dixon, Tennessee, I said, I hope you're feeling better. She said, I am not. This is the most miserable I've ever been in my life. And I responded, still pneumonia, and she did not respond to me. So I'm just really curious why Afton Bain is going out in public and shaking people's hands and taking pictures with people, older people in a church in Dixon, Tennessee, where she's got walking pneumonia? Or at least she says she has. Just a question. But here's the funny thing. So Afton Bain's record is bubbling to the surface. Afton Bain's position on issues, they are bubbling to the surface. How is it exactly out of bounds that we're bringing these issues up? How is it an attack on Afton Bain that we're playing Afton Bain audio to a congressional district that needs to know what Afton Bain stands for? Look, it is not a character assassination for me to say to you that by Afton Bain's own words, she's crazy. If you believe a man can have a baby, you're crazy. Full stop. I didn't say it. She said it. You can hear her say it. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can find it. Oh, here it is. You got me going on over there? Here's Dear Afton Bain, who never said this kind of stuff on our show. Hold on. Let me make sure I got my side of it going there. Jackson, you're good over there.
I think as an organizer and as an activist, like, we really have an opportunity here in this country to talk about what type of progressive policies we want to see as young women. And I think we have, as birther, as women who can give birth, men and women who can give birth, we could maybe leverage that as collective bargaining.
You hear that? What? Now, set that aside for a moment. I backed the clip up a little bit. I'm going to play the clip again for you. She said birthing people, and then she said men and women who can give birth. If you believe, and I just want to make a declaratory statement, if you believe that men, biological males, can give birth, you need to go seek help. You need to go seek help. Biological men cannot have babies. Now, you might want to try to change the language. You might want to try to suggest that if someone decides they want to be a man, they're a man. Or if somebody decides they want to be a ferret, they're a ferret. Or if someone decides they want to be a sweet potato, they're a sweet potato. But that's crazy too. And I believe in letting people live a life of their own choosing. As long as you're a grown person, if you want to walk around in a dress and you're a dude and call yourself a woman and associate with people that conform that or confirm that to you, That's your business. Don't get around me, and and we're all good. It's a free country. Don't harm other people. Don't violate other people's rights. Stay away from the kids, and we're all good. But you're not a girl. As many times as you try to say you are, you're not. And and Afton Bain needs to answer this. Does she believe that, or is she just talking out of her butt? Do you believe men can give birth? And this is not a side issue. It is not some out there issue. It speaks to Afton's sense. It speaks to her character. It speaks to her common sense. It speaks to her intelligence. It speaks to her ability to lead a group of people. And this also, I would remind you, is not something that happened 20 years ago. She said this 2 years ago. Remember, I played you the clip Thursday, Jackson, where Afton was on MSNBC, and they asked her about her wanting to dismantle the Nashville Police Department, and she wouldn't clarify the statement because she still believes it. This is no one, in my estimation, acting in a way of desperation in terms of this political race. It is not to suggest, but the suggestion is this. If people are not aware that there is an election 1 week from today, if people are not aware in the 7th Congressional District that they need to go and vote, if the conservatives, for whatever reason, en masse stayed home, I don't believe that's going to happen, but if it were to happen and somehow this insane person slipped in there, she would serve the Middle Tennessee district that she does not reflect for at least a year. And then she would get her butt handed to her in the regular cycle of things. This is a district that Trump won by 22 points. I expect that Matt Van Epps will win it by 10 at least. So I expect a 55-45 split, but I don't take anything for granted, nor should you. Here's the clip again.
As birther, as women who can give birth, men and women who can give birth, we could maybe leverage that as collective bargaining, which is the basis of this book that I've just started reading, but called Birth Strike, and how we can really leverage collective bargaining when it comes to having children in this country. And so, for example, I'm not going to give birth until the United States government concedes ABCD. What do you think about that?
I think that's mentally insane, is what I think about that. If that's who you were asking, Afton, I don't know. You forget the men giving birth thing for a moment, which is also crazy. Are you hearing this? Once again, Afton has been on this show. I think Afton is more naive than anything. I think that she surrounds herself with individuals that confirm what she believes is a normal political ideology, and it lurches her further and further and further away from reality. I don't believe that Afton Bain truly understands reality. She grew up with a silver spoon. She went to private school. She went off to school. This was private school, I think, in Knoxville. She went off to school in Austin, Texas. She had all of her education paid for. She grew up in an affluent family. I don't blame her for any of these things. I'm suggesting that she does not understand what life is like in the real world. I don't believe she understands the district that she's asking to serve. But behind the obvious, which is men cannot have babies, the suggestion that women should leverage giving birth against their political ideology is sick. That's sick, isn't it? Is it just me? Once again, I'm not mad about it. You're suggesting that you should use the life of another person. It's almost like blackmail. Oh, hey, Republicans, I just got pregnant, and unless you change your political position on A, B, or C, I'm going to have an abortion. Is that what you're saying? And you want to represent Tennessee District Number 7? You want to represent Montgomery County? You want to represent Cheatham County? You want to represent the people of Williamson County? You want to represent Clarksville? You want to represent Dixon? What? 25 minutes after the hour. Your thoughts on the way. Super Talk 99.7 WTN just getting underway on this Tuesday.
It seems a
Hey, friends, Matt Murphy. You know, it can be hard to find someone you can trust for large home repairs such as, I don't know, your heating element in your home. Well, Jeff Eddy's here for you. Now's the time of year, especially with cold coming back this weekend. You need to think about getting that heating unit maintenanced if you've not done already. It's the best way to avoid costly repairs. It's the best way to make sure everything runs efficiently throughout the course of the winter season. And if anything else goes wrong this winter season, don't forget about the maintenance guarantee. If they come out and maintenance your unit, and it will cost you $125 or less, no matter how many units you have, oftentimes it's much less than that. If they have to come back out for any reason, never you fear, they're going to waive the maintenance fee, or the service call fee, I should say, on that call. That's the way they do it at Efficient Heating and Cooling. Plus, if you do find yourself needing repair or to address a breakdown, Efficient does not charge overtime rates, nights, or weekends. They just don't believe in it. 615-784-4424, 784-4424, or efficienthvac.net.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Thanksgiving travel already underway. Parts of the east getting some of what parts of southeast Texas and Mississippi got overnight. Powerful line of storms. This resident calling the wind unbelievable.
It was so forceful. It was like fighting 50 men. worked until I finally got the door shut.
Extensive damage to more than 100 homes there throughout southeast Texas and Mississippi. Here in Tennessee, AAA projects 1.9 million Tennesseans are going to travel at least 50 miles from home between now and Monday. That's a new record. About 1.8 million are going to drive, 51,000 will fly. And if you're traveling for Thanksgiving and you live in Franklin Police offering a vacation patrol service while you're away. Submit your request online at franklintn.gov by providing your travel dates, contact info, details about your home. And remember, patrols aren't guaranteed, so lock your doors and windows. Prosecutors on New York's Long Island say they've broken up a ring of porch pirates, people who hacked into a FedEx delivery system to track when and where packages showed up. We get more from ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Prosecutors say a sophisticated ring of porch pirates was after mobile phones and other electronics and knew when FedEx was dropping them off because they had hacked into the shipping giant's delivery network and placed bulk orders using fake names but real addresses of unsuspecting homeowners.
And if your social media feed pops up with an ad for the perfect gift, be careful. Clicking on that link could lead you to fictitious websites designed to take your money or personal information. Former FBI cybersecurity expert Eric O'Neill urging consumers to take a break, do a little research.
Just type in Google the retailer name, the name that they're using, plus scam. And if someone else has been hit by them, it's going to show up.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, it is complete stop and go eastbound South Loop over to 65. A lot of brake tapping northbound 65 up to the South Loop. Same goes for eastbound 440 over to 24. Westbound 24 there at 440. They're still cleaning up that truck fire from this morning. The right lane is blocked. I'm Ken Weaver.
All right, so you still have enough time, friends, but time, I admit to you, is running out. You need to go ahead and call Shane Ring at Cover Nash if you're concerned about your health insurance leading into 2026, if you don't know where your premiums are going, if you are confused about what might happen leading into the new year, or if you've got open enrollment still going on and you want to get a better option for you and your family, it's time to call Shane Ring and Cover Nash. It's open enrollment season. Obamacare's after it again. Premiums for 2026 are going up, some even tripling. You need expertise. You need a concierge that can shop all the healthcare plans on the marketplace and find you the best rate for you, managed by you, not by the government. That's Shane Ring. That's Cover Nash. You don't have to play by Washington's rules. He can help you cut your costs by 40 to 60% while keeping your doctor, keeping your hospital, and skip the government red tape. So if you're self-employed, uninsured, or just tired of paying too much, here's the number: 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or go to CoverDash.com, CoverDash.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I got to talk quick. Jackson fading my music out. What are you doing over there, Jackson? You thinking about Thanksgiving? Is that what you're doing? You don't want to talk to me? Are you mad because I was out yesterday?
I'm not mad.
Raising money for the good people? No. What?
I'm just working back here, bud.
Are you? You look a little. Well, we'll talk later. We'll talk later. I got guests. We got company right now, and I'm not going to show out in front of company. 615-737-9986. Your thoughts on Afton Bain and this? Look, Matt Van Epps will be on with us a little bit later on this show with Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. We're excited to have the Speaker of the House on the show with us. We'll ask him some questions about the Congress of the United States of America and the importance, particularly with Marjorie Taylor Greene announcing her retirement in January, the importance of holding this seat. It's an importance that is not lost on Casey Crosby, who is the co-chair of the Republican National Conference, and she joins us today to talk about the importance of this race and their involvement in it. Ms. Crosby, thank you for being on with us. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you for everything that you do, not just for the Republican Party, but for the United States of America. Talk to us about this race. I mean, it's the only game in town getting a lot of national attention.
Yeah, no, we're heavily involved in this race. We are very positive and hopeful that we are going to have Congressman Matt Van Epps elected on Tuesday, and that it's going to be a good day for us. I'm from the state of Kentucky, which of course borders you all. That's my home state, and in fact, I'm going to be there Saturday with teams from my home state. We'll be in Clarksville, and we're going to go out and be knocking doors and getting out that election day vote. So everybody just needs to get out and vote. We need to get Matt elected.
Well, the feeling that we have here in Nashville, in Williamson County, in Davidson County, in Cheatham County, and Montgomery County, of course, where Clarksville, the feeling that we have is that if people are aware of the election, if they're aware of the differences between the two candidates, what Matt Van Epps stands for, what Afton Bain stands for, there's no question who wins this election. I think Donald Trump won 2024 by 22 points, but it's a matter of awareness. Would you agree with that? It's a matter of making sure that people understand that there's a special election going on and they need to get to vote.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been privy to some data that, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, people in the district did not even know that there was a special election going on, let alone the date. And over the past week, we have seen that people have more awareness that there is an election. They know when they have to vote. They know early voting is going on. So, people are becoming more aware of how important it is. And I think, too, just the fact that there's been a lot of press out there about what a lunatic she is and how crazy she is and how she would be so wrong for Middle Tennessee. I think people are becoming a little bit more aware about her record and realizing that she would be bad for them if she's representing them in Congress.
I hear some suggesting that, we're focusing on Bain and her past comments and her past record, and that shows you the Republicans are scared they're going to lose this district. I just think it's a ridiculous premise, pointing out where this woman stands on major issues that will impact the Tennessee 7th Congressional District is in no way, I'm not even attacking her. I'm just pointing out where she stands on these issues. Secondarily, we just want to make sure that people understand the differences between the candidates and, frankly, the lunacy that some of these positions have that go along with them.
I mean, if people are upset that we're calling her out for saying that we should be teaching people how to perform abortions at home, or that she wants to abolish the police, not just defund them, but abolish them, and that she endorsed burning down police stations. I mean, to me, again, like I said, I'm from Kentucky. We're neighboring states. We share a lot of the same values, and those just aren't values that we hold. And I think it's totally fair. And in fact, when we've seen her get pressed on it on national media, she will not defend where she stands on these things in her previous statements. She pivots pretty quickly, but you can just look at the people who've given to her campaign. I mean, Hakeem Jeffries' super PAC is coming in and spending $1 million. They just said that they're going to come in and spend $1 million to support her. You've seen people like Kamala Harris there. Jasmine Crockett has been in campaigning with her. So, I mean, are those the people you want advising your congresswoman or congressman in your district? And I don't think Middle Tennessee would stand for that.
Obviously, there is an agenda moving forward into 2026. Some want to, jump over the first 6-8 months of 2026 into the election cycle. But I know that Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, whom we'll speak with a little later on today, amongst others in the leadership. They have some objective items that they want to get to. Obviously, splitting up the budget, appropriations, and the like. How important is it in your mind that obviously with Marjorie Taylor Greene deciding that she'll be retiring in January, the expectation is that her seat will be filled by a Republican, but that makes the margin even that much thinner in the House to accomplish some things that we truly can with Matt Van Epps in office.
Yeah, it's crucial going into 2026. These midterms are everything. Our goal at the RNC is to make sure that President Trump is a 4-year president. We've seen him accomplish so much in just 10 months. And look, a lot of people are going to be feeling the benefits of the big, beautiful bill going into 2026 with the tax cuts and no tax on tips. And you can just go on and on, the deregulation and how that's going to impact people's pocketbooks in a positive way. So those things are all trending in the right direction. But, Speaker Johnson is working with a very slim margin. And in order for us to make sure that we're getting President Trump's agenda through, we're going to have every single body there that we possibly can have. But, our goal is to make sure that we win these midterms.
Well, we certainly hope so as well. So you will be canvassing in Clarksville over the weekend, correct?
Yeah, I'll be there myself personally on Saturday. We've got a group from Kentucky coming in, and we're going to be knocking doors and doing everything we can to help our neighbors to the south win this election.
Well, it's very important, obviously, that, national figures get involved and you kind of combat fire with fire, so to speak. And with all of the money that's rolling in from D.C., New York, and other places, we're happy to see that the RNC is taking this very seriously, and happy to talk with you today, Casey. Thank you for your time, and thank you for getting involved.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Chairman Gruters is going to be there on Monday, so we'll both be in the state within a few days. So just everybody needs to get out and vote. They've got one more day of early voting tomorrow and then Election Day next week.
Thank you, Casey, for your time. We appreciate you.
Okay,
all right, take
bye-bye.
care. There's Casey Crosby joining us for a moment, the co-chair of the Republican National Committee. I'm curious about this. Is the 7th Congressional District just sick of it? Are they not interested in it? Do they not recognize the importance? I just received, Jason wrote in. And Jason, loyal listener to the show, says, I'll be so glad when this election is over and I will not have to hear about either one of these jackasses running for office for a while. And I was like, why? I'm just curious. And he said, I think Afton's a very likable person. She's crazy. Matt couldn't even answer a simple question about weed on Chad's show last week. I'm just over all of it. Well, look, I don't pretend that Van Epps is a perfect candidate. Frankly, his soft-spoken nature, I think, might be a bit of a turnoff for some people. I think it's fair. I would like to hear some more forceful responses out of him, and hopefully we're going to have Matt Van Epps on with us tomorrow. He's going to be on in the 4 o'clock hour with Mike Johnson, but I'm hoping to have him on so we can talk on a more granular level about issues. But there's just no question who is the sane person, even if you disagree with them on certain policy positions. And I disagree with the Republicans on certain social conservative positions on any number of issues, weed included. But there's no question who the right person to vote for is in the 7th Congressional District. But Afton, as far as her likability, my grandmother was a very likable person. I loved my grandmother very much. I don't want my grandmother being elected to anything, mainly because she's dead. But other than that, I wouldn't want her elected to anything even when she was alive. Afton is not a very wise person in terms of the ways of the world, simply because she's been sheltered for most of her life. That is not knocking her, except to say it is a fact. And it is an aspect of her life that I think people need to understand. That, she grew up in a very affluent household. She had certain aspects of her life handed to her in a way that we have not. I do not believe that she understands Cheatham County. I don't believe she understands Dixon. I don't believe she understands Montgomery County. I don't believe she understands Nashville, Tennessee very much either. She has been radicalized by the left through activism, and now she wants to be a congressman, and I think the 7th Congressional District needs to offer an emphatic no. I don't apologize a bit for talking about it. It's important. it's important that the Republicans hold on to the House of Representatives, even as frustrated as we might get with the Republican Party. 46 after the Gary. Larry has a thought on it out of Clarksville. Larry, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Matt. Thanks for taking my call. And first of all, Matt, thank you and all the hosts and WTN for doing what you guys do for the National Rescue Mission.
Larry, thank you. It's an honor.
Well, I mean, you guys do so much, so thank you all. I did what I could. Although the Canadian gave you false news, he gave you fake news. I donated during Mandis' show and then again during your show, but the Canadian, who has, held me on hold for longer than anyone else has ever had, but the Canadian told you that I donated during his show and then during your show, which is not correct. So, anyway.
Well, I don't hold that against him. He had the struggle that Hand has is there's the monetary exchange, and that's very confusing sometimes. Where you've got you got the foreign currency versus what we use here in the States, and it can get confusing to him.
Well, I mean, and I give Chris credit because he is a Canadian. So, but I love Ken Weaver. Holy crap, he's about to make me lose my darn mind. On Afton Insane.
Afton Insane. Afton Insane. I don't know. You come up with that with your own, Larry? That's pretty funny.
Oh, I've been calling her Afton Insane for months, Matt.
I think we should just go with Insane Bane.
Oh, I like that even better.
Yeah.
But the people in the 7th District need to understand that the Democrats have poured millions of dollars in shipping people out here to knock on doors, to make robocalls, do all this stuff. The people in the 7th District need to understand we have to get out and vote. We have to understand that there is a special election, a very important special election coming up.
I think people get it, Larry. I know that you do. I think that the people get it as a matter of fact. And Larry, thank you for your call, and thank you for your generous donation yesterday. You're a good man, and we appreciate all that you do for the state. I just got an email. No, I'm sorry, a super text saying, I just got home from early voting in Dixon. The turnout was higher than expected. Mostly older people, which I hope bodes well for Matt Van Epps. We had to wait about 25 minutes to cast our ballots. I do think that is good. I think voting today or tomorrow is important, considering that, you never know what the weather's going to bring on Tuesday, Election Day, December 2nd. I think it's important that, people cast their ballot and understand their ballot counts and all of those types of things. Because, yes, the political left this is all they have going, and they desperately need a win, a victory. They wanted to claim that Virginia and New York and New Jersey was something. It wasn't. It was expected that those states were going to vote blue. If this state elects a blue person like Afton Bain and a crazy person like Afton Bain, that says something. That's a danger sign for 2026. And I do believe that we as a state, and specifically District Number 7, has an opportunity to send a message to the rest of America that we don't value those same types of things. I mean, once again, and I'm going to play the clip in a minute, Afton Bain went on MSNBC, which now calls themselves something else, and I don't know what it is, and I don't care. She went on MSNBC, and she was handed a softball of a question regarding her previous position on disbanding the police, on dissolving the Nashville Police Department. She stated emphatically in 2020 that she wanted to dissolve the police department. That's not me attacking her. That's not me taking her words out of context. And anyone that says that I don't think understands how politics works. That was 5 years ago, sure. But she has doubled and tripled down on some of these positions over the last several years and as a state representative. So the question is, do you still believe that? And they asked her that, and she refused to answer. That wasn't something that happened 5 years ago. That was something that happened 5 days ago. 5 days ago, she was asked, do you believe in disbanding the police? And she wouldn't answer the question. Why? She called it a trap, a cable news trap. What are you talking about? It's a legitimate question. Tell me your position on law enforcement. And she wouldn't do it. 52 after the hour. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for Eurofix. Aaron Stokes and his team at Eurofix, they understand how to fix your European automobile. Folks, Aaron wants to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. It is the season of giving, and at Eurofix, they want to give you better auto repair than any other company around. Friends, Eurofix is not your typical, dare I say, greasy garage. Waiting rooms, they're clean, they're comfortable, they're inviting. Service areas are spotless because Eurofix cares about everything from how you're treated to how your vehicle is treated. Every repair comes with a rock-solid 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all repairs that Eurofix performs, and at below-dealer pricing. You don't have to put up with the dealer prices. You don't have to get ghosted when you're waiting on a callback. Eurofix fixes everything European. Plus, they offer a rental car available at every repair appointment. Locations in Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. 844-EUROFIX. 844-EUROFIX. Or visit myEurofix.com. myEurofix.com.
The FBI looking to interview about a half dozen Democratic veterans of the military and intelligence community who appeared in a video urging troops to ignore illegal orders. That story and more at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, I believe I have just enough time to re-rack this that we played for you last week. It merits hearing it one more time. A lot of folks reporting in on early voting saying that in Dixon County, the lines are particularly long, which I love hearing that because I believe Dixon County is one of our more conservative areas in the 7th Congressional. Well, most of them are, except for Nashville. I mean, Nashville, maybe a little pocket of Montgomery County and Clarksville, but Nashville, maybe a little portion of Williamson County. Not a majority, a minority, but a portion of Williamson County one way or the other. Here's Afton Bain, about a minute and a half long. Here, hold on. Let me, I'll re-rack it. I'll get it back up, and here she goes.
Representative, in 2020, you made some tweets that have since been deleted that were very critical of police. You said in those since deleted tweets that the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department should be dissolved. Another cheered on a teachers union saying that defund the police should be a requirement for schools reopening. And another saying good morning, especially to the 54% of Americans that believe burning down a police station is justified. 2020 was obviously a very fraught year. Do you still stand by those comments? And if not, is there anything you want to clarify?
I'm not going to engage in cable news talking points, but what I will say is that...
Okay, what? I'm not going to get into cable news talking points. She's asking you your current position on defunding the police.
You know, our communities need solutions. We need local people deciding, solving local problems with local solutions. And that's not the overreach of a federal government or state government of which we are dealing with in Nashville and our cities across the state of Tennessee.
So you don't want to clarify whether you still believe that the police should be defunded?
Once again, I don't remember these tweets, but what I'm saying is that
I'm not asking you if you remember. What is your position today? How's that on this issue?
I mean, I'm here to talk about my race, which is
Yeah, well, can't tell her position on defunding or dismantling the police today. That says all you need to know. It's 4 o'clock. Super Talk.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Peak holiday travel underway. Gio Benitez.
90% of people will be driving. That's 73 million of you. The busiest days today, tomorrow, and Sunday. The worst time to hit the road today is between noon and 9 p.m. Tomorrow, you're going to want to get going before 11 a.m. And here's another big number for you. 1.2 million people will be taking a train.
Yeah, here in Tennessee, AAA says 1.9 million Tennesseans are going at least 50 miles away from home through Monday. That sets a new record for the state. About 1.8 million driving, 51,000 flying. And if you live in Franklin and are traveling out of town, Franklin Police offering a vacation patrol service while you're away. Submit your request online at franklintn.gov by providing your travel dates, contact info, details about your home. But remember, patrols aren't guaranteed, so you still need to secure your property before you leave. And the half dozen Democratic veterans of the military and intelligence community who appeared in a video urging troops to ignore illegal orders now being contacted by the FBI. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy with the latest from Washington.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the video's vague rhetoric undermines trust, creates hesitation in the chain of command, and erodes cohesion. The Democrats say urging service members to ignore illegal orders simply restates the law they're all expected to follow. With the FBI now seeking interviews with the Democrats who appeared on camera, Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin said the use of the FBI to, quote, target us is exactly why we made this video in the first place.
Prosecutors on New York's Long Island say they've broken up a ring of porch pirates, people who hacked into a FedEx delivery system to track when and where packages showed up Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Officials releasing videos they say show the alleged pattern. A FedEx employee drops off a box, and moments later, a thief swipes it and flees in a waiting car. The stolen phones were allegedly taken to a stash house in the Bronx in garbage bags before they were resold in the United States and internationally. Investigators say they recovered more than 200 mobile phones and tens of thousands of dollars in cash.
Campbell's Soup denying claims about its products that were allegedly made by an executive in a recorded conversation. The person in the recording heard questioning the chicken product in some of the soup. The recording allegedly from a conversation that's now part of a lawsuit. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
Campbell saying, the chicken meat used in our soups comes from long-trusted, USDA-approved U.S. suppliers and meets our high-quality standards. And the company noting, Bally worked in IT and had nothing to do with food production. Bally is on leave, pending a company investigation. In the meantime, the Attorney General in Florida, a state that bans lab-grown meat, says his office is now investigating Campbell's products.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we just picked up another crash in Woodbine. This is 440 eastbound, just past Nolensville Pike. They're also still working to clean up that tractor-trailer rig fire from this morning. That's got the right lane blocked 24 westbound there at I-440. Then on the West Loop, police reporting a crash. That's going to be eastbound at 65. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good afternoon and welcome in. I told you we'd have somebody special on the line, and that special person is Matt Van Epps. 1 week before Election Day and 1 day to go before early voting is over. And it's so important we get out to the polls. And it's great to talk once again to 7th Congressional District candidate Matt Van Epps. Matt, how you doing, my brother?
Yes, sir. Matt, so good to be on with you again. I'm fired up and motivated. We're going to bring this thing home on December 2nd and really excited about it.
Well, I can tell you that the contrast has never been more stark in my mind as to how Tennesseans should be voting and how I believe they're going to be voting. But it's not just Tennessee paying attention to this race. It's the rest of the nation as well. And it's my understanding, Matt, that you have someone pretty special to introduce to the Super Talk audience this afternoon.
I sure do, and thanks, Matt. I've got an incredible leader, true patriot, and conservative champion with us today, and that's Speaker Mike Johnson.
All right, Speaker Johnson. Oh, wow. Speaker, it is a wonderful honor to get a chance to speak with you, and thank you for coming to us on Super Talk and participating in the 7th Congressional District race.
Thanks so much, guys. Great to be on with the great Matt Murphy, and certainly with the one who will soon be our colleague here in Washington, Matt Van Epp. I am so excited about Matt's campaign. I just want to say, as you guys said, the entire country is watching this race, okay? It's the only game on the map right now. It's a special election, and it is for all the marbles. You've seen how small the margins are, how small the majority is in the House Republican Conference. And to keep this train on the tracks, to keep delivering on the America First agenda, to keep President Trump's, all of his plans and agendas moving forward, we have got to get Matt Van Epp elected in this special seat. There's 1 day left for early voting, guys. So we're praying and hoping and encouraging all our friends out in Nashville and the whole area to get out and vote. It really matters.
Well, and Mr. Speaker, I think we just witnessed the willingness on the part of the Democrats on the other side of the aisle to do anything and everything to try to seize back some level of power and control, even if it means hurting the American people. Obviously, I'm referencing the shutdown, and with the margins what they are, that's an ever-present reality for the Republicans in the House of Representatives, correct?
It is, and the way I've been describing this, the simplest way to summarize it is Americans are watching a split screen right now. On one side of the screen, you see President Trump and Republicans delivering on our promises, secure borders, the biggest tax cuts in history, cheaper gasoline, stronger economy, the president's ending wars around the globe. We're going to work on that cost of living affordability agenda day after day, whittling down, because remember, we're still living in the Bidenomics, the drunken spending spree that they engaged in that drove inflation through the roof. We're fixing all these problems, and at the same time, the Democrats, the only thing they've accomplished in the last 10 months of this whole Congress is shutting the government down and then holding our troops and law enforcement and hungry families hostage as leverage. So they did that, and they accomplished nothing. So, listen, we've got to get reinforcements. We need Matt Van Epp to join the team here, because this guy is pure Tennessee, man. He's pure Nashville. We love him. He's a husband. He's a dad. He's an America First patriot, a combat veteran who is going to help us to continue to deliver secure borders, safe streets, lower taxes, a strong economy, peace through strength. We need a West Point graduate, a lieutenant colonel in the Tennessee Army National Guard to join our forces in D.C., and he is the perfect man at the perfect time in history.
Hey, Matt, just to clarify the difference between the two political campaigns, I know that your political opponent has recently offered her opinion about Nashville. What's your opinion about Nashville, Matt?
Absolutely. Well, I love Nashville. I love country music. And we're going to fight really hard for Nashville, Davidson County, all of our 14 counties. And the distinction could not be more clear. Afton is a crazy left-wing radical who wants higher taxes. She wants to defund the police. She wants gender surgeries for minors without parental consent. And we must vote to stop this person. The only way to do it, only way to stop her is to vote. And we're pushing incredibly hard through the last day of early voting and through December 2nd, and we're going to win this, and we're going to bring it home with a decisive victory on December 2nd.
Well, I've been telling my listeners, Matt, and Speaker Johnson, I'm sure you're aware of this as you monitor races around the country. I mean, the numbers are on our side. It's just a matter of making sure that folks know that election's going on. I mean, this is a special one, obviously, so folks aren't accustomed to going to the polls around Thanksgiving. Make sure they're aware of it, and make sure that they understand the difference that this can make nationally with real votes. And we've seen some of those votes come down to 1-vote margins or 2-vote margins in the House of Representatives. And now, Speaker Johnson, with one of your members out of Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene, announcing that she'll be retiring in 2026, I feel like it's even more pressing and important that we make sure that Matt Van Epp is in Congress and sworn in January of next year.
There's no question. On many key votes coming up over the next several months, Matt Van Epp will be the hero. I mean, he will be the deciding vote. There's no question about it. And it will make all the difference for the entire country. Listen, his liberal opponent, I'm told that not a lot of people know her there, Afton Bain, as was said. I mean, she is a total radical leftist. I mean, this is what happens. The reason that you get these radical leftist candidates elected in these one-off elections around the country is that just common sense conservative regular Americans are not paying attention in these special elections, and that's to your point. We got to make sure everybody knows. I would say, one more day of early voting. Please go. It's critical we bank that vote early. And then we need everybody who hasn't voted to get out there strong on election day. It's Tuesday, December 2nd. It's in the middle of the holiday season.
In literally 9 days.
Calendar, folks, in Tennessee, because, and by the way, you can go to matt4tn.com, matt4tennessee.com to find your location and learn how to help. He still needs donations. We've got to get this thing over the line, learn more about Matt. You're going to love this guy. He is Tennessee. Whereas the opponent, this lady, Afton Bain, she wants to defund the police guys. She looks up to Marxist Zoran Mandani as her hero. This is dangerous stuff. She would not reflect your values, but Matt Van Epps certainly does, and we can't wait to have him join our forces here.
Well, I know we only have a couple of minutes left, but Speaker Johnson, while I have you on the line, a question that I get from my audience quite often, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to ask. We talk about getting back to regular order. We talk all the time on my show about 12 separate appropriations bills is the way to get us back to a budget balance in America and get us back to that financial solvency. What's so hard about getting there, and what are y'all doing behind the scenes to get us back to those regular calendars and regular order in the House?
Brother, great question. This is my passion. I've been speaker for a little over 2 years now. It was October of 2023 when they handed me the gavel. And the very first thing I did is I went in and committed to everybody publicly and privately, we got to get back to regular order. Why? Because as you noted, the only way to be a good steward of taxpayer dollars is if you do 12 separate appropriations bills so that they're debated and everybody goes through line by line. That's how you do it. The problem is that for almost 20 years, Congress has basically just defaulted on that duty. And what you get is a massive omnibus spending bill right before Christmas every year that few people have read or understood or certainly not debated. We're not doing that anymore. So the good news is, guys, we have forced the muscle memory back, man. It's been like me pushing a boulder up a hill, but we've gotten it, okay? So when the president reopened the government, we fought the Democrats. They didn't get anything out of that stupid shutdown, the longest one in history. They harmed all the American people, used them as leverage, as they said in their own words. But what we got out of that was not just a continuing resolution to keep the government going through the end of January. We also got 3 of the 12 appropriations bills signed into law with Republican priorities and lower spending. We've got to do that for the remaining 9 bills, and that's what we're working on right now around the clock, trying to force that through the system as hard as it is to make Congress do its job. The Republicans are united in this. The Democrats are fighting us tooth and nail. And again, it all comes back to this race in Tennessee. My friends, we love Nashville. We love Middle Tennessee. You will help determine the fate of the Republic. This is not hyperbole. This is not some sort of campaign ad. I'm telling you that Matt Van Epps coming and joining us in the House will allow us to do Congress right and get this fixed, to continue on the trajectory we're on, which is going to help us save the greatest nation in the history of the world, gentlemen. We need Matt Van Epps. Please, my dear friends in Tennessee, vote early by tomorrow. And then if you miss that, Election Day, December 2nd, it is truly for the future of the country.
Well, and Matt, I know that you and I will have an opportunity to speak a little more at length later on this week prior to Election Day, and I look forward to that conversation. But thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for being willing to come down, campaign on behalf of Matt Van Epps, tell us what the priorities are moving into 2026. We look forward to it. And listen, I think if Matt Van Epps wins this election, the 3 of us should be on a pedal tavern in Nashville, Tennessee, showing off because we love Nashville and we love the 7th Congressional District. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your time.
Amen. God bless. Keep going, guys. Love to talk to you.
And Matt, we'll talk to you, I believe, tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, brother?
Absolutely looking forward to it. Thanks, Mr. Speaker. And Matt, thanks as always.
Thank you, guys.
Hello, folks. Matt Murphy for Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega is your one-stop shop for all things computer consultation and IT. It's so important if you're a business owner that you understand that you are at risk. And for most of you business owners, you get it, right? Because with small to medium-sized businesses, they get targeted with cybersecurity attacks, just like the larger businesses do. You get targeted with ransomware as well. If you're a business owner without adequate cybersecurity, you're waiting for a disaster. You need Alpha and Omega in your life. Plus, they offer 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week protection, compliance for all industry. They're simply better at it than you are. No offense to you, but that's what they do. They are in the IT business. So with emergency services available, always 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with someone ready to take your call at a moment's notice right here in the state of Tennessee, not some bot, and certainly not someone out of state or out of country. If you're a business owner, you owe it to yourself to make the call. If your IT contract's up or if you're looking to get one, let's make the call that others have made to Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega, found online at ANO.net, A&O.net, or 615-784-0096, 784-0096.
And holiday travel has been underway all day today. We'll give you the very latest on when is the best time to head out, coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, reaction to our conversation with Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and Matt Van Epps. Matt will be back to answer more specifics tomorrow at about 4:35 as we enter the final week of voting in the 7th Congressional District. Many of you voting today and telling me about it on the Super Text line. If you have gone to the polls, voted early, and you have a story, give us the scoop, 615-737-9986. Sally writes in and says, is Speaker Johnson in Tennessee campaigning for Matt Van Epps when he should be in Washington, D.C. doing his job? Well, Sally, I understand the question. I understand the frustration. I also understand Mike was on the phone. He was not in Tennessee campaigning. Secondarily, they are on Thanksgiving break. And Sally followed up by saying, I figured the month of August and 42 days through October were plenty of time for breaks, not to mention Thanksgiving's not until Thursday. Today is not a holiday. Today is Tuesday. On Tuesday, we work. I don't disagree with you. I'm not saying that I approve of it. I'm just telling you the way that it is. If enough Americans want change, they'll vote for people that will work all week. But enough Americans don't vote for people who will work all week. I mean, I wish we could change that. I wish I were king. I wish I could make them go to work every single day and twice on Sunday. I don't know what to tell you. If this is your biggest issue, well, I'm not even saying it's your biggest issue. I can't change that. You can't change it either. It is what it is. I am certain that I would like to see more work out of well, I don't know, though. I mean, what kind of work are they doing, Sally? Are they passing more laws? I don't think we need more laws. I think we need to enforce the laws that we currently have. I think, frankly, we need probably fewer laws. As a matter of fact, I would argue, get them elected and then tell them to stay home and not vote on anything. How about that? I mean, that's another way of looking at it, right? That it's a good thing that they're not in Washington, because when they're in Washington, they seem to F everything up to begin with. Did I say it that way? I thought it that way. Did I say it that way? I didn't mean to say it that way. I thought it that way.
You're safe.
Thank you, Ken. I thought it a certain way, and I'm a little salty today. I apologize. Stephen's on the road with the thought on this 7th Congressional District race. Hey, Stephen.
Hey, buddy. Hey, man. Yeah, I'm I'm going to regurgitate the comments on that Afton Bain. I don't understand how somebody that's running for Middle Tennessee or for the 7th District, which enholds Nashville, how can you come out and actually say you hate the city and all the area that you're actually trying to become? I do understand it, but what I'm getting at, she's full of hate, and anybody that votes for her, those are going to be the people that hate. Those are going to be the people that are against everything that we stand for in Nashville and in Tennessee. My question is to you, what does her resume look like? I mean, where did this thing even come from, this Afton Bain? What has she accomplished? What has she done? How does she even qualify? Is it just Marxist money that's putting her up? I mean, what's the deal?
So Afton Bain is a House of Representatives member in the General Assembly. Afton Bain was elected to that position. I forget who she replaced, but it's a liberal district in Nashville. Before that, she worked in a variety of roles in certain levels of community activism at organizations that were designed to assist aspects of community. I mean, just basically, she acted as a community activist. I don't know what level of money she was paid for that activism. But she's never had to worry about money because she comes from an affluent family, and she's had those types of things taken care for her. So I mean, think Barack Obama, how he moved his way through community activism, eventually made his way to the state General Assembly, and then attempted to ascend. He went directly to the United States Senate. She's trying to go to the Congress of the United States of America. So she went from political activism to representing Nashville in the House of Representatives.
Okay. Well, I mean, to me, being from Tennessee and knowing Nashville and all the surrounding counties and areas, it seems like she don't have a snowball's chance in hell trying to win this. I mean, and for all her hatred towards us, I'm not going to say I hate her back, but I just wish a horse would kick her in the face.
Well, I mean, I don't know about all of that. I mean, I thank you for the call, and I thank you for the passion. Afton Bain is a nice enough person. I don't want Afton Bain anywhere near a voting booth necessarily because I don't believe in the way that she votes. I don't want Afton Bain anywhere near the Congress of the United States of America because she is a leftist socialist, and she votes consistent with some of the more extreme wings of the Democrat Party nowadays. She believes in the same types of things that the more extreme wing of the Liberal Democrat Party believes. So, obviously, I don't understand what this, she's a nice, I mean, yeah, sure, what politician have y'all met that was an a-hole? I mean, they're all nice. I mean, I don't mean to yell at you, Stephen, but you understand what I'm saying? I mean, what does that have to do with that damn thing? It doesn't have anything to do with anything. Oh, well, they're very nice. Well, so what? They're very nice while they're picking your pocket? They're very nice while they're cutting off the penis of a 14-year-old boy? They're very nice where they're rolling this country over into government-owned institutions that have traditionally been free market institutions? Where they're taking centralized control of your life in Washington, D.C. Oh, very nice people. Yeah, they're very personable. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I mean, once again, I'm not yelling at Stephen. I'm not yelling at anyone. I'm just saying. I mean, they're very nice. You know, just about every politician I've ever met is very nice. When's the last politician that got elected to a place of political power that you thought, boy, that guy's a real a-hole? That guy's a real crap bag. I mean, very nice. So what? What do they believe in? How will they vote? Who will they align themselves with in Washington, D.C., or in Nashville, Tennessee, or in your local city council, or in your local county commission? Right? They're all really nice. Bill Clinton, really nice. Barack Obama seemed like a personable guy. Yeah, Kamala Harris, not so much. Not so much. Joe Biden, didn't know where he was. Seemed really nice. Ice cream. Yeah. Jack? Oh, yeah. Oh, ice cream. Oh, yeah. Chocolate chip. Right? I mean, so, I don't know. She's insane. Now, Trump is straightforward, and I think this makes Trump a little bit of an outlier. 5900 says Trump's kind of an a-hole. You know what? He can be, but he's an a-hole to the right people. What I've been told, and it has been my experience, I've only had one personal interaction with Donald Trump, and he was really nice. He was very complimentary. He was very nice to me. I mean, so. But more to the point of Stephen's call, the concern, there's not really a concern, except that Matt Van Epps seemed early on to be sleepwalking a little bit through the political process. He is a more soft-spoken kind of guy. He is not your typical politician. And you add that to the idea that we are concerned about turnout. And if you get low conservative turnout, an expectation that in a conservative district that Trump won by 22 points, that this is a done deal, then your fear is that conservatives won't go out and vote, and all of the liberal Democrats are motivated because they think Afton Bain's got a chance, and then come Election Day, suddenly Afton Bain has won. That's the concern. It's 31 after the hour. I've got to get to news. Ken Weaver awaits in the newsroom with headlines on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Peak Thanksgiving travel has been underway all day, says Gio Benitez.
The FAA says that today is the busiest day, with 52,000 flights expected. Now, we're told there is solid staffing at towers and control centers nationwide. The FAA is calling this week their Super Bowl, and it's really no surprise why, because the TSA thinks it's going to screen nearly 18 million people for the holiday.
Now, here in Tennessee, AAA projects 1.9 million of us traveling at least 50 miles from home between now and Monday, setting a new record for the state. About 1.8 million will be driving, 51,000 will be flying. Right now in Tennessee, early voting in the 7th Congressional District special election ends tomorrow. Election Day is Tuesday, and Casey Crosby, co-chair of the Republican National Conference, telling WTN's Matt Murphy Show winning is a matter of getting people out to vote.
I've been privy to some data that, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, people in the district did not even know that there was a special election going on, let alone the date.
So recent polling claims Republican Matt Van Epps leading Democrat Afton Bain by 8 to 10 points. Election Day is Tuesday. Virginia State Police searching for a high school head football coach who's now considered a fugitive. Authorities say Travis Turner faces 10 felony charges, including possession of child pornography and using a computer to solicit a minor. He vanished last week after investigators tried to contact him at his home. Since then, search efforts have included drones, K-9 units, rescue teams across multiple jurisdictions. And the oldest resident of the San Diego Zoo has died. ABC's Sherry Preston with more on her long life.
For more than a century, she munched on her favorite foods of cactus fruit and romaine lettuce. She gave children rides on her back, and sometimes those kids came back as adults, bringing their own children to say hello. No one knew exactly how old Grandma the Galapagos tortoise was when she died this month at the San Diego Zoo, but some estimated she was about 141 years old. Grandma lived through both world wars and 20 U.S. presidents, but she couldn't outlive the bone pain caused by old age that had rapidly progressed, causing zookeepers to euthanize her last week. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
That's the latest news, traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Complete stop-and-go brake tapping up to the South Loop if you're northbound 65. Now, we've got crashes to contend with right now. Berry Hill, 440 eastbound there at 65. Woodbine, 440 eastbound at Nolensville Pike. Woodbine, they're still cleaning up that tractor-trailer rig fire from earlier this morning. The right lane, 24 westbound, is blocked there at I-440. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and the Wellness Institute of Nashville. If you hurt, and for some of us, pain can be debilitating in our neck, in our elbows, in our shoulders, in our hips, in our knees, and obviously in the back. And if that debilitating pain has you feeling so bad during the holiday season and you don't know where to turn, you're probably taking pills to try to alleviate some of that pain. Maybe you're even taking a spinal blocker and considering surgery. May I recommend the Wellness Institute of Nashville to you? Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and the rest of the team believe in solving these pain issues in a natural way, and they have the technology. Modern technology is amazing. They have the spinal decompression machines. How does it work? It heals the disc by opening it up to allow hydration, nutrition, blood to get to the area that heals the disc more naturally and alleviates the pain in that way. So you don't have to worry about the other aspects of pain alleviation, like pills, like spinal injections. That's what it's all about. It worked with me, and it can work with you. And right now, as a way to introduce their technology to you, a $12 they call it the Big Daddy Trump Special, which I love. Big Daddy Trump Special, $12, comprehensive examination, x-rays if needed, a diagnosis, and your first treatment. Call 615-246-5009, 246-5009, or go to painisbad.com. That's painisbad.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you for being around with us. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Happy to have you on this Tuesday. I do want to reiterate this. Thank you so much once again for all of you that turned out for the Nashville Rescue Mission More Than a Meal Radiothon yesterday. It's a one-day-a-year event. We are pleased to announce that we raised well in excess of $200,000. I think it was almost $220,000, which is incredible in a 14-hour time frame for the Nashville Rescue Mission. And y'all are good folk, and we appreciate each and every one of you. We appreciate our next guest, Stuart McWhorter. You know, he's been a part of the lead. He's been the lead in terms of the economic team here in the state of Tennessee. But this is our first. We've had him on many times in the past to talk about the economy in the state of Tennessee, building business in our state. But this is the first opportunity that I've had Stuart McWhorter on in studio to say welcome to the new deputy governor of the state of Tennessee. I don't know if I call it DG. Is that good?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. We're struggling with it's too many words is what it is. The title's way too long.
Stuart, good afternoon. Welcome.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations.
Appreciate that.
I promised the audience at 3 o'clock that I would ask you this question first. What is a deputy governor and what do you do?
Well, it's so my friends that don't live in the state of Tennessee think that it's technically like the lieutenant governor here. So they're like, oh, that means if something happens to the governor, you'll be governor. I said, absolutely, 100% not a chance. So, you know, I think it's something that, you know, was previous administrations have had. And it really is a role that's better defined by the person more so than the title itself. And so for me, I've known the governor. I think we've talked about this before. I've known him for several decades, and we know each other very well. And I think he wanted me to be around him for this last year. It's within his sort of circle of executive leadership. I was in that before when I was the commissioner of F&A, Finance and Administration. But when I left that job, I was no longer part of that inner circle per se. But Butch Ely retired, and he was the deputy governor, and the governor just wanted me to come back because he knew me, trust me, and wanted me to be around as he thinks through, you know, this last year, which is really hard to believe.
It is. I mean, and obviously I've only been here for about 4 years of the Lee administration, but for you, you've been a part of it. You've been friends with the governor for so long. Is it easy to finish strong? Is it more of a difficult thing? And you know, how do you manage that? How do you make sure that, hey, we want to run through the tape. We want to make sure that we're doing everything that we possibly can to leave Tennessee in the right place for the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it right now. It's not the job that he has is not easy. And, you know, one would think that this is his last year. He may not push on things. He may just try to, you know, ease on out, but that's not his nature. I think he's looking at doing some things that are bold as he thinks about every decision that he makes as governor. He thinks of it from the standpoint as what's in the best interest of the 7+ million residents in our state. What would they want me to do as I think through and make decisions? And we push hard to finish strong. And, you know, and I'm encouraging him. We all are to encourage him to do that. And he's up for the task, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I've served. This is, you know, when it's all said and done, 6 out of the 8 years with him, and this is probably the time he's been through. COVID. He's been through lots of natural disasters, COVID, the first lady with cancer. I mean, there's just been one thing after the next. And I think he's really seen this last year, unless something happens, but seeing that you know, that finish line coming, he wants to finish running through it very strongly.
I mean, obviously your area of focus and expertise has been on the economy in the state of Tennessee and making sure that we provide, and you correct me if I'm saying this wrong in any way, but we provide as a state that fertile ground that allows the free market to flourish as best as it possibly can. How are we doing?
We're doing well. You know, we actually were in Asia for 2 weeks the last month. And, you know, the conversations with these, you know, CEOs of global companies, they know about Tennessee.
Right.
And they know, you know, quite frankly, they're very aware of what's happening in the Southeast. You know, I think about the states that border Tennessee. Generally speaking, from an economic development perspective, all doing well. A lot of businesses are moving to the Southeast. a lot of people are moving to the Southeast. And so I think it's really important that we continue to think about being business friendly, whether that's from a tax perspective, regulatory perspective. And, we've been able to do that during Governor Lee's administration, and it happened, with previous administrations. The goal is just to kind of keep building upon that foundation that's been, very successful for our state.
I want to ask you about property taxes in a moment, but before I do, Governor Lee, I was surprised, and I know that it's a minority of the people that reacted in this way, but it wasn't an insignificant minority when the vote happened in New York, and Governor Lee came out with a video, and I thought it was a great video. We played it on the show, and Governor Lee said, hey, if you're a business owner and you're not very comfortable with the way your state's voting, the way your state's going, come on down to Tennessee. If you share I'm paraphrasing him here, but basically if you share our values and you're looking for a place that believes in freedom and security, and we're your place. And there were some, for the most part, it was well received. But there were some people like, no, don't bring New Yorkers to Tennessee. What are you doing? And were you surprised at some of the reaction to that? And just speak to what the governor was trying to accomplish with that.
Sure.
message.
Well, I think, I view it as a gentle reminder that, we're here. And if you are a business person that wants to continue to grow a business successfully, Tennessee should be on your list of states to consider. I think it's something that we've been doing, though, for the last 7 years. And we started seeing an increase of activity to the state during COVID. And because of all the things, we don't need to go through it, but for all the reasons why COVID was such a tough environment for businesses, people were looking to find a state that was willing to allow them to continue as a business and build and grow and thrive. And so that just continued post-COVID. The governor was just saying, hey, simply saying, Tennessee's a great place for business. I don't know what's going to happen in New York. We don't know what the future lies ahead for those of you that are doing business. But if it's all the things that this new mayor-elect is talking about, you might want to consider what you've been probably thinking about in the past anyway. And so that's really all that is. There were other governors that were saying it as well. Look, I've been in Nashville for 30 years. I consider myself a Tennessean. Now I've been here more than half my age. But I did move here from somewhere else. I mean, a lot of people have moved here from somewhere else, and they've all been successful. I mean, I think that what we try to, really focus on at the end of the day is, it's like putting a puzzle together in a way. We look for businesses and industry that align with what what's already here. And, and we look for brands that represent something that we think Tennessee represents, and that's, faith and family and values and good paying jobs and a place you want to raise a family, all those things. And so we're very thoughtful about that. It's not just come here and bring all your ideals and try to change what the fabric of Tennessee, what makes Tennessee so great. But we are talking about businesses that we think could be successful here. And so we just want to gently remind them of that.
As we grow, is it in your field of vision the necessity to get water in Middle Tennessee?
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine that's something that you think about. I don't know if that fits under. I don't want to assume what the parameters of your role is, but we've talked quite a bit about it with population growth, with business growth. I've had some folks on from the Columbia Dam Now project that are really advocating for the dam. I've had some folks on that are more pipeline focused and believe that the Tennessee River is an option or the Cumberland River is an option.
Right.
Has the governor's office taken a position on that? And what are your thoughts on the ability that we have to get more water for the needs that we have down the road?
Yeah, I think the way I view that is infrastructure investments, long-term infrastructure investments, which would include water, includes highways and bridges and roads, it includes power. We've talked, I think, in the past, you and I've talked about nuclear power.
Yeah.
It's a lot of those things because as a state, as we continue to grow, and to your question, I think the need for additional water and wastewater is important. If you think about 84 out of our 95 counties have seen population growth. And so with that comes more needs in the community. And people are talking about housing and businesses coming in. And so they need access to these things. And so going back to your question, the governor has has been looking at these investments and knowing that these are 5, 10, 20-year type long-term investments that don't get a lot of attention because you don't see it. It's not sexy stuff to talk about, but it's critical. And so, yeah, we're not part of it. It's not sort of in our lane per se in economic development because we work with other agencies that focus on water and wastewater infrastructure investments. But we recognize it as a really important part of economic development, whether it's big projects or small projects, whether it's people that are moving into a community that need access through a developed housing development or any other types of things that are needed for growth in these counties. And that's something that the governor's been focused on really since the day he got there.
I had a great conversation yesterday during our radiothon with the president of John Bouchard and Sons. It's a big company that's been around for 125 years. And I asked him what they do, and he was telling me, it's primarily infrastructure embedded under the ground. He was telling me it was a thankless job. He said, we do a lot of wastewater. And I was like, oh, I said, well, that sounds like, I had to make the puns. It sounds like a crappy job and that sort of thing. But you don't think about those things.
But you don't.
Until that infrastructure starts to, at least the general public, you probably do, and people that need to think 10 or 15 or 20 years down the road are probably thinking about it. We don't think about it until something goes wrong.
That's right. And, and you got to figure out a way to pay for it. That's right. And the state can play a part, but the local communities, the counties, the cities, they have to play a role as well. And that's where I think that's where we can be a best partner to the locals, is to help them identify ways to generate revenue so that they can pay for things like that. And the state participates and the federal government will participate too in some things depending on what it is. But it's important. And, again, it doesn't get a lot of headlines. It's not sexy, but it's critical to the success of the state.
How important is what's happening in Memphis in terms of crime reduction? I feel like is vital to seeing a potential rebirth in Memphis. And I would feel like the business community is at least paying attention, maybe taking a wait and see approach. But it's exciting what's going on over there.
Yeah, I think you're right on. The businesses and the decision makers of these businesses that are investing hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, they're the barometer we use to say, okay, what's going on in Memphis? Tell us what you see. What's your feeling of that? And I think you're right. They're excited. I think they're cautiously optimistic about what's going on. And I think that, I've always thought Memphis had and does. It has had lots of potential. It has probably more upside than any other city in our state right now for those reasons. You talk about infrastructure and water and wastewater. They're sitting on an aquifer that's, you don't even have to think about the natural resource there. But the rivers and the rail, and you got FedEx, and you got the Memphis airport. There's so much going on, and businesses are paying attention to it. And I'm very hopeful that we're going to see more great projects originating out of Memphis.
We recently saw here in Nashville, and one of the reasons we wanted to talk with you, we saw just property taxes go up. There was a reassessment, reappraisals. Those went out, and then a rate change on the part of the local community, which is their right. They have the ability to do that. Are you fearful that might have an impact on businesses in Nashville?
Oh, yeah, I am. It will have an impact on it. It's having an impact now. And I think the concern I have with it, and we don't get, in our department, we don't get into, local property tax issues, but I think the concern that I have is you think about, okay, Tennessee, the majority of our revenue as a state comes from sales tax. If you were looking across the entire state, the majority of that comes from Middle Tennessee because of Nashville, and a lot of it comes from East Tennessee, Pigeon Forge and what's going on in Gatlinburg. And so the concern is, one, you start to erode a little bit of that sales tax revenue because a lot of these bars, and what I'm speaking to specifically is Broadway.
Yeah.
And you've got small businesses, family-owned businesses that are now staring at this massive tax bill, and in some cases, Matt, it's 1,000% increase in some cases. And I think on average, if you were looking at probably 20 to 25 bars along Broadway, there's close to 300% increase in tax, and that's their margin.
Right.
And many of these, I think a lot of people may not really know this, but a lot of those bars on Broadway are what they call triple net leases, and these are bars that are paying rent. They don't own the buildings. Some people think, well, they're making all this money because the values of these buildings have gone up. Well, in a lot of cases, that's an investor group that owns those buildings. They're the ones that are seeing on paper an appreciation of that asset. But if you're a bar operator and you're paying that rent, that margin, it's thin margins in the business anyway, but that margin is gone. And so what's going to happen if this stays like it is, you're going to see bars and some that have been around and have made Broadway.
Right.
I mean, they've committed, sacrificed their lives to make, it's a business, but they've committed and they've poured their heart and soul in this to make Broadway what it is. And now you're asking them to, you're going to have to go figure it out, and there's no solution. And so I'm convinced that we're going to see brand name bars close in the next 6 months. And we can't have that, because what's going to happen, aside from the revenue side of it, as I started your answer here, but I'm concerned that you start to erode the very fabric of downtown Nashville and Broadway and what makes Nashville so great.
And even those, not to interrupt you, but even those that don't care for it or don't go, recognize the amount of money that does bring in, and that sales tax revenue is important.
It's important
because it keeps our other taxes low.
It does. It's very important, but it also, they say all boats rise. I mean, Broadway is, to me, sort of the heartbeat. And if we start to mess with that, then other things will start to happen. Then you start seeing businesses close, others come in, and you don't recognize it anymore.
Do you have a few more minutes after the break? Stuart McWhorter's with us. Compelling conversation from the Deputy Governor. We'll continue the conversation right after this. We have to take a short time out, do some news, and pay some bills. We'll be back in a moment. It's 55 after the hour on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Millions of Americans, a predicted 81 million of us already getting away for the Thanksgiving holiday. ABC's Melissa Adon is at LAX in Los Angeles.
52,000 flights expected. Some of those already have taken off today and still expected to take off today, making this Tuesday the busiest day for air travel during this Thanksgiving holiday period. That is, we're looking at during this entire week of travel, about 18 million passengers that TSA expects to screen.
Here in Tennessee, AAA projects 1.9 million Tennesseans will travel at least 50 miles from home between now and Monday. That will set a new record for the state. About 1.8 million Tennesseans are driving, 51,000 are flying. Early voting in the 7th Congressional District, a special election, ends after tomorrow. Election Day is Tuesday. And Speaker of the House Mike Johnson tells WTN's Matt Murphy it is key that Matt Van Epps win for Republicans to keep their slim majority.
There's no question on many key votes coming up over the next several months, Matt Van Epps will be the hero. I mean, he will be the deciding vote. There's no question about it. And it will make all the difference for the entire country.
Recent polling showing Van Epps leading Democrat Afton Bain by 8 to 10 points. The half-dozen Democratic veterans of the military and intelligence community who appeared in a video urging troops to ignore illegal orders are now being contacted by the FBI. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the latest from Washington.
Sources say the FBI is aiming to schedule interviews with the 6 congressional Democrats who appeared in the video. Director Kash Patel says career agents and analysts of the FBI will determine next steps, including whether there's a legal basis to open an investigation. The Pentagon says it's conducting a thorough review of Senator Mark Kelly's conduct and is looking at possibly recalling the retired Navy captain to active duty to face military punishment. The Democrats insist their video urging troops to ignore illegal orders simply restated the law.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Berry Hill, police say there's a crash 440 eastbound at I-65. Woodbine, 440 eastbound at Nolensville Pike. And then a stalled vehicle, Woodbine, left shoulder block 24 eastbound at I-440. In Woodbine, 24 westbound, they're still cleaning up that tractor-trailer rig fire from earlier this morning. That's blocking the right lane, 24 westbound there at I-440. B&A got a crash on the right shoulder, 40 eastbound at Donaldson Pike. White House, Highway Patrol says there's a crash 65 northbound at exit 108. And now in South Nashville, got a crash 24 westbound at Murfreesboro Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN just after 5 o'clock, 5:07 to be precise. We'll get more to your calls in here in a moment or two. We'll give you an update on the Tennessee 7th District congressional race as well. We have a little bit of an extended conversation with our guest that we presented to you in the last half of last hour, Stuart McWhorter, who is a part of economic development. He's the head of economic development in the state of Tennessee. He's also the deputy governor in the state of Tennessee. We were talking about the economy specific to Nashville, and we begged of him to stick around for another segment, and he was gracious enough to do so. Oh, and look, one of our super texters, Stuart, has said 1255 says, your guest has a pleasant speaking voice. Well, isn't that nice?
Well, how about that?
You got family listening.
Yeah,
which
I
is,
do. Yeah,
which is
that's probably my daughter.
And then on the flip side of that, 4317, haters are motivators, I suppose, says, I don't give a flying bleep how much business is lost to downtown. Nashville was better off before they blew it up with tourism. I just think you're completely and totally wrong, 4317. And I think most rational people would agree, because I came from a place, and I'll let Stuart speak to this in just a moment. I came from a place, Birmingham, Alabama, that couldn't get out of its own way. And it was an absolute donut in terms of business activity in the downtown area, where all of the metro area was a ghost town to new business. And I promise you that leads to things that you don't want, increased levels of crime. And I understand crime's always an issue. You also have a city that demands more and more of its current residents while it's not seeing new economic activity coming in. I understand that some people, don't go for Broadway, but to suggest that Broadway was better in the 1990s when it was pawn shops and peep shows, I just think you're wrong. Stuart, any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think what this is about as well, for those that, may not understand, how valuable this is. You're talking about a product, and you're talking about, a Broadway and bars that I think, in my opinion, provide an excellent product. And people want to go down there and spend their money, and it's safe. And so as long as you have that, I think, again, it creates this vibrancy within what we're talking about here in Middle Tennessee, and specifically Nashville and Broadway. And as soon as that changes and the product changes, people don't want to buy that product anymore. They don't go anymore. And then something replaces that. You would argue it may not be as good as that product, and therefore you can talk about other cities where, we were just talking about one a minute ago, that where you start to lose that quality, and then all of a sudden things start to creep in, like crime and safety, and it just becomes a place that no one wants to go to anymore. And that is what Broadway used to be. I've lived here long enough to know what it used to be. And the only place we would go when we went down there was 2nd Avenue and the Spaghetti Factory, because that was the only place that provided a good product.
Right.
And there was a few little honky tonks here and there, but it's changed so much over the last, couple decades. And I guess my point of all of this is that if we let that go, and if things like property taxes really is the issue here, erodes that margin to these bar owners, they're not going to be able to survive. And then you've got this massive bet on East Bank. And then all of a sudden, how important is that now? If you can't even maintain what has been such a great asset in our city, now you're talking about creating more investment and opportunity on the East Bank, you're losing sight of what got you here.
What, if anything, I mean, if we look at this as possibly, killing the goose that lays the golden eggs in terms of tourism dollars, sales tax dollars coming in, what, if anything, can the state do but try to have communication with the local leadership to make sure that they're not blind to the possibilities that you raise?
Yeah, I think there's some conversations going on about that. I don't know, that's the governor and the legislature will have to look at that. I think they are looking at that, what could be done. But I do think there's things that could be done. In my mind, there needs to be, I've come from the private sector and have been involved in businesses and small businesses pretty much my whole career. There needs to be a long-term plan, and especially when you start to talk about increasing tax rates and doing valuations on these assets, you can't just drop that in the lap of a business owner and say, here you go, expect it. There needs to be a longer-term vision on this and where do we want to get to, and allow the business owners to participate in that planning. And I think that's really going to be the key. So, what measures could be put in place? That's a question of our legislature, perhaps, if they want to try to step in and try to help these businesses, because I can promise you our legislature understands the importance of business in our state better than anybody. And I think they understand what downtown Nashville means to our state. So I think and I hope that something like that can happen in partnership with the city and have conversations about what this really means. Because, again, you can't wake up and say, okay, here's your 1,000% increase of your taxes in 1 year, and expect that a business can just stroke the check and be okay with that. Anybody who's listening, if you run a business and somebody presented you something like that, what are you going to do about it? I mean, that's what's happened. And
Right.
and as I understand it, there's been discussions with the city about, hey, do we really understand what's going to happen to our businesses? And I don't think it's been taken seriously from what I've been hearing.
We were talking about last week or week before. We talked with Carrie Bringle of Peg Leg Porker. It's a business owner who's been down in the Gulch for a long, long time.
Right.
And we spoke about Arnold's, and I forget Mr. Arnold's first name, but and it's been Meat and Three that's been around for a long time, and they speak of, so it's not just specifically the bars on Lower
That's
Broad,
right.
but it's just all of the business areas in downtown Nashville. They, at some point, you kill those local businesses, and if you feel comfortable with replacing them with a national brand or whatever, that's one thing, but you're in my opinion, you're just destroying the fabric that makes Nashville unique and something that's special to people who come here and live here.
Yeah, that's right. And I think to your point, you're right. This isn't about bars and honky tonks on Broadway, although they're part of this. This is about downtown businesses, small businesses, medium-sized businesses. They've got a plan, and they have to put their finances in place to have a plan of action when they know these types of things are coming. And I think that's the point, is if they can't, their alternative is to close or to alter their strategy, and it may not be what it was that got them there.
You mentioned the East Bank. Are you excited about that?
I am excited about it. I think it's, I think there's some promising things that are happening. Of course, we just did a topping out ceremony at Titan Stadium, Nissan Stadium last week.
Finished the ring, I guess.
That's
was,
right. Finished the ring and got to see the progress. I mean, it's going to be an incredible asset for our state, not just for Nashville, but for our state. I'm excited about what will happen there. That's going to generate a lot of action and activity, on the East Bank. Super excited about what Oracle is doing. I mean, that's continued to evolve. I'm very excited about what's going to happen there. And that, whatever they're talking about and thinking about today is going to be very different in the future in a good way. I'm just very excited about what their commitment to our state there. But from Oracle all the way down to the metal site, I think that all of that's going to, over time, over the next several decades, will play out to be a significant part of the downtown vibrancy. And I'm really excited about what's happening there.
More broadly, you and I have talked about energy in the past, and we've talked about other aspects of the vibrancy of business opportunity outside of the city of Nashville. Any updates on, from an energy perspective, we obviously have been a leader in that regard from Oak Ridge and beyond. I'm excited about the possibility of continuing to lead on the nuclear front.
Very excited. I think, of course, the governor a few years ago sort of stood into this, leaned into this, and recognized what we have in Tennessee already in Oak Ridge, National Labs, Manhattan Project, just the whole history of Oak Ridge. And the fact that we as a state, as a country, need to be figuring out how we generate, transmit, and even utilize power going forward with all the demand that's coming our way in this new economy. And so because of Oak Ridge, we've been able to do some things, provide some incentives for companies to come to our state to, we've announced projects that will add about 2,000 new jobs and close to $10 billion of capital investment right in the Oak Ridge, most of it in the Oak Ridge, Roane, and Anderson counties, which are game changers for them. We were talking about water and wastewater. Now Roane County and Anderson County and East Tennessee has a revenue source to start to help pay for these infrastructure. That's why these things are important. $10 billion of CapEx. By the way, we've got another probably $10 billion of CapEx in the pipeline for other nuclear projects that we're talking to right now.
Well, I'm excited about the future of the state of Tennessee. I'm excited about what is to come, and obviously I wouldn't want you to break any confidences. But I mean, anything you want to break on this show, you just let us know.
I will. I'll let you know.
And you bring it in, Stuart. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. Just let us know how we can be of assistance to let the people know exactly what's going on from your perspective in economic development.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
There's Stuart McWhorter, Deputy Governor of the state of Tennessee, 18 minutes after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, friends, you've got an opportunity over the holidays to actually lose inches around your waistline, and it comes from Contours LLC. Located in Cool Springs, these guys are incredible. They're in a class by themselves. Keith and Stephanie and the rest of the team use a medical-grade red light technology to reduce body fat naturally. It was almost impossible for me to believe. I heard Dan talking about it. I heard Chad talking about it. Fat loss with no incision, downtime, pain, complications, and it all comes from red light technology. And I was like, I've got to figure out more about this. And so the Belly Buster special was their $99 first-time special. You go, you try it, and it's guaranteed that you'll lose 2 inches over your midsection, or it's free. You don't have to pay anything. I lost 2.5 inches in my midsection going to Contours LLC. So it's for the fella, but it's for the ladies as well. I mean, it's for anybody that wants to lose inches around the holidays. And with holiday parties and whatnot coming up, if you want to get into that dress lady or that suit, let's get to Contours LLC, because this works, and it works immediately. They guarantee, once again, you lose 2 inches across your belly and your stomach area, your midsection area on your first visit, or you get your money back. 615-236-9960. 615-236-9960 or ContoursLLC.com.
Thanksgiving holiday rush is in full swing, and House Speaker Mike Johnson weighs in on the 7th Congressional District special election. Hear what he has to say at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. Ken Weaver over in News Closet B. He gathers headlines and delivers them for a living, and we appreciate what he does. Are you, I think I heard a nasty rumor that you are off after today, Ken Weaver.
I am off after today, Brother Murphy.
Good
Yes,
for you. You're good for you. You guys doing anything for the holiday?
We're going to drive over and see my in-laws there in North Carolina.
All right.
Going to be up in the mountains.
All right. Hey, Jackson, free hangout in Murfreesboro at Ken's house this weekend. What do you think? Yeah, Weaver won't be there.
Oh, Weaver won't be there?
No, I mean, he'll be in North Carolina somewhere.
Party at the Weave's house?
Party at Weave's house while he's gone. We'll clean up after.
Will we?
No, not really. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It's going to be cool, too. It's going to be cold.
Oh, man, I
like
love it. I love it. I love the fact that it is going to be 30-something degrees as I am walking away from Mercedes-Benz Stadium Friday night after the Georgia Bull Puppies whoop up on those pesky Yellow Jacket Bugs.
Woo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, who y'all playing, Weaver?
We got LSU. We got the Tigers.
As long as you beat those Go Tigers, y'all are
we're in.
Y'all are in.
We're in, but we got to beat LSU.
Y'all got this.
Go Vols.
I mean, I think LSU barely beat that high school team they played last week or something. I mean, it was bad.
They played Western Kentucky, which is in our listening area.
The Mighty Hill. I love the Mighty Hilltoppers. Don't talk to me about those guys. I love them. Aren't they up in Franklin? I think that's right.
Kentucky.
Franklin, Kentucky. Oh, is it Bowling Green?
Bowling Green.
Thank you, resident sports expert.
Bowling Green has Bowling Green.
No, that's Bowling Green, Ohio.
Stand by.
Oh,
I'm not doubting you, Jackson. I think Ken is. So I'm gonna help you out here. Let's see. Western Kentucky. I had a former boss who was matriculated from old Western Kentucky. He loved the Hilltoppers. Western Kentucky University is a public institution in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Jackson wins. Way to go, Brother Jackson.
Woo.
Huh. How about that? Bowling Green, Kentucky.
All this time, I thought Bowling Green State University was in Kentucky.
Huh. Isn't that interesting?
Good thing I didn't drive up there to see their games.
But, Bowling Green and Franklin, they might as well be the same place, honestly. Yeah, I mean, it's right down the road. Franklin, home of the Corvette Museum, right? I've been there. I saw the Corvette Museum. You know where the sinkhole happened? You ever seen that sinkhole deal?
No. I've seen pictures.
Y'all, if y'all have never been to the Corvette Museum, you don't have to be a fan of Corvettes. They took the sinkhole and incorporated the sinkhole into the museum, and it's pretty darn cool. So now it's a combo Corvette Museum and Sinkhole Museum. Right there across the state line. Y'all go if you need to. Spend a little money. 1586 has written in about the safety of downtown. 5900 said, I'll be in Murfreesboro this weekend. I can fix his AC in his car while I'm there. Oh, that's nice. Somebody's offering to fix your AC, Weaver. Good of them.
Thank you.
I don't know if they need a place to stay or what. Steve has been holding on for a while. Steve, what's going on? What's happening with you?
Hey, thank you so much for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to talk about some independents, and there's an independent called Captain Terry Christie that's running, and she's a conservative, and she's a constitutionalist, and she understands the 7th District very well because she's lived here. She's the only person running that's from the South, and I just thought maybe y'all ought to understand that you could look her up. She's at CaptainTerry.com, and she could really use the support because she's going to be a good future candidate.
I missed it on the front end, Steve. I admit I wasn't paying close enough attention. What is Captain Terry running for again?
She's running for the 7th District.
Oh,
she's an independent.
Okay.
Yes. But she's a conservative, and she'll caucus with the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
But she's a constitutionalist, and she's very strict about that. She's very, very concerned about the 7th District and their values. and she's lived here for a long time.
Well,
and
I think I've spoken to her, if I'm not mistaken.
She's called in a couple of times.
I believe that Captain Terry has called us.
Oh, really?
Well, Steve, my concern is that if we have enough of these independents siphoning off votes, then you're not going to see Captain Terry win the election. Let's not be delusional.
Well, okay, no, I understand that, and so does she. But she's trying to make a statement, and her. If you go to CaptainTerry.com, you'll see where what she stands for, and you'll understand that she's a future Republican, and she's an independent at this point because it's the only way she could run, because Van Epps was, he got the whole deal,
Why didn't she run in the Republican primary?
Because they wouldn't even support her. They were pushing Van Epps, and I understand that.
No. Who's they?
Well, I don't know exactly who, but it was like they could kind of push her out of the scene.
How do I spell Terry? Because I must be spelling it wrong. I put in CaptainTerry.com, and it says that CaptainTerry.com is for sale.
It's Terri, Terry.
Terri. That's what I did wrong. I was doing what you told me to, Steve. I was going over there.
That's okay.
Oh, there she. Oh, yeah. I've talked to this person. Yeah.
I'll have you. Yeah, and she's a great person, and she's really going to do a really good job. And I think her future is going to be really good with the Republican Party, or she's running as independent now because that was the best way for her to go and make her statements.
I just don't understand. I mean, and maybe this is more of a question for her, not for you. I don't understand if she considers herself a Republican, why she didn't run in the Republican primary. But maybe I could ask her that next time she's on.
Because I think the only way she thought she could get on the ballot maybe was being an independent. It was the easiest thing to do, and make her voice heard. But she's going to be a great representative for our state because she understands our state.
Uh-huh.
And I, by the way, about your last guest, I agree with everything he had to say about the taxes and everything. And oh my God, they're just outrageous. Yeah.
Well,
oh my God, yeah.
Do you live in the 7th?
Yes.
Okay. You voting for Captain? You voting for Captain Terry?
I sure did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I understand the conflict between, but I think independents have their voice and they should be represented, and they should.
That's fine.
I mean, this is America, and we're allowed to vote for who we want to vote for.
100%.
Yeah, and it pushes her farther into the direction of understanding, of people understanding.
But here's the deal, though, Steve. If Captain Terry runs against a Republican as an independent, do you think they're going to let her on the ballot as a Republican the next time?
Well, you know what? I probably shouldn't be saying this, but they're already talking to her.
Oh, the Republicans are talking to Captain Terry?
Yes.
About what?
Because they like what she represents. They like what she says, and the future. I mean, Van Epps going to only be around for a year. He's got to run again. And and that leaves an opening. So
wait. So Steve, you're saying that the Republican Party is talking to Captain Terry about running as a Republican against Matt Van Epps next time? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't. Well, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I know. I don't want to just be totally.
Steve.
Saying that, but there are people that are talking to her,
Steve,
because there's some people that don't agree with that.
Steve, I don't think that's happening, Steve.
Oh, I know it is, but it's okay. But it's okay. But they like what she said.
People in the what, Steve, just me and you talking, just me and you.
Okay.
Right. What people are talking to Captain Terry?
I don't know exactly who they are, but she has gotten phone calls about maybe talking to her about turning Republican and working with the Republican Party, and because she is she's a conservative, a very conservative.
I believe you. I believe you 100%. I don't have anything against Captain Terry, and I don't have anything against you, Steve. And I'm sorry to rush the call, but I'm way late for the news. Real quick, no, you don't have to. One quick question though, Steve, and then we got to go.
Okay.
What kind of boat?
What?
What kind of boat?
What do you mean? What kind of boat?
Well, she's a captain of something.
Oh, she's a boat captain. She works on big barges and stuff.
Now, okay, very good. Now, roll right back to the question. What kind of boat? Do you know?
Oh, what kind of boat?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Big boat. I don't know.
Okay, I got out of here, Steve. It's 33. I did. Yeah, we got big old boat. The big old boat. Barge. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes, and the Thanksgiving holiday rush is in full swing. Dana Wright at Charlotte Douglas International says she was pleasantly surprised to see how smooth things were there.
I'm shocked it's not that busy. We're kind of happy that we're going on a Tuesday instead of tomorrow and Wednesday when we know it's the busiest time. So we tried to plan around that.
Yeah, this traveler telling our ABC affiliate in Miami it's worth a little hassle to see everyone.
Being with the family, you know what I mean? Just going, hanging out with mom and the crew and everybody, you know what I mean? All the nieces, nephews.
Here in Tennessee, AAA projects 1.9 million Tennesseans traveling at least 50 miles from home between now and Monday. That'll set a new state record. About 1.8 million are driving, 51,000 flying. Early voting in the 7th Congressional District, a special election ends after tomorrow. Election Day is Tuesday. House Speaker Mike Johnson telling WTN's Matt Murphy that Trump-backed Matt Van Epps will be a deciding vote on major legislation if he wins. And he says robust Republican voter turnout is key.
This is what happens. The reason that you get these radical leftist candidates elected in these one-off elections around the country is that just common sense conservative regular Americans are not paying attention in these special elections. We got to make sure everybody knows.
Recent polling shows Van Epps leading Democrat Afton Bain by 8 to 10 points. And that's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we have picked up another crash in White House, 65 northbound there at exit 108. Kingston Springs in Cheatham County, 40 eastbound there at exit 188. 24 westbound at Murfreesboro Pike. 65 northbound at 440. Rivergate, 65 northbound before Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. And in Murfreesboro, Highway Patrol says there's a crash 24 eastbound before Old Fort Parkway, exit 78. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Please do me a favor. And I understand we're about to get into nincompoops in the news. But starting at 6 o'clock, I want full phone calls until 7 about any subject of your choosing. We've got tomorrow to go, don't worry. But one of the reasons that I need that is that we need to keep Jackson busy in there. We need to keep him alert and aware of what's going on, especially because it's my understanding that he has some distractions in his room.
Go Vols.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm with him. Go Vols.
Yeah, Ken's watching it too.
You think that's funny, do you?
I think it's really funny.
You think it's really cute, don't you?
Tennessee is number 17 Tennessee playing Houston right now.
Uh-huh. It's like preseason, right?
No, it's regular season. This is a tournament in Las Vegas.
No.
Tennessee.
Basketball season does not start before football season's over.
Tennessee playing the number 3 team in the country.
Fake news.
On the road in Vegas.
Everybody knows that basketball season starts after Georgia wins the national championship.
Oh, so it's never starting again?
In football. Football. You know, some of us in the SEC have won natty championships in our lifetime.
Sorry, my lifetime isn't as long as yours.
Brother Jackson.
That's why I like Jackson.
Always got it.
That's why I like Jackson. You know what? I've had a lot of producers over the years, and most of them didn't know how to fight back. That's why I like Jackson. Jackson's willing to fight back. Also, stop watching that basketball game and do your job.
I'm doing my job.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you do your job and hit the button, would you? Thank you.
Nincompoops in the news.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's time to get back to nincompoops in the news. We did not have nincompoops yesterday, obviously, with the Nashville Rescue Mission More Than a Meal Radiothon. And we appreciate you for indulging us in that. But today, it's time to get back to it. It's Ken Weaver. It's Matt Murphy. It's Jackson Williams. It's nincompoops in the news. I got a good one, and I hope you do as well. Fellas, I was not here this past Friday, so one of you two must have won nincompoops in the news. If Cameron won, then I get to go first.
It was me.
It was Brother Jackson.
Ooh, I even got the Ken Weaver confirmation.
That's the only reason I'm letting it slide. Go ahead,
shoved a teacup up his butt.
What?
Yeah, that was my story.
What?
A guy shoved a teacup up his butt.
A teacup?
Yep.
What?
Or a coffee mug.
Well, Jackson, all right, so I'm sorry to do this.
Actually, I think it was a teacup because if I remember correctly, he had his pinky out.
Was it his pinky, Ken?
It's his pinky.
Okay. So what I apologize in advance for asking this question, but I have to. There was a handle on it?
Handle, yeah. I saw the X-ray picture.
Huh.
Oh, come on.
And he said it was an accident.
What did you just say, Jackson?
I said, oh, come on.
Why? Don't make me turn it off. Don't make me turn it off. The fine line here, fella. You're walking it.
Tennessee
he
going to
said
the
he
free throw
fell
line.
on it. It reminds me of the sign. That reminds me. It's 1,000,000 to 1 shot, Doc. 1,000,000 to 1 shot.
It was an accident.
Remember that? Fusilli Jerry.
Uh-huh.
That was the Ass Man episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's my move, Kramer.
Kramer, that's my move. I love it. So I think he got a note on his car. I think I have what you're looking for. Oh. And then at the end, he finally. So you're the Ass Man. He was a proctologist. 1,000,000 to 1 shot, Doc. Okay, Jackson, go right ahead, please.
All right. Illinois school superintendent uses government credit card to pay for porn, creates false invoices. The former superintendent of a West suburban school district paid thousands of dollars for porn on his government credit card, according to an investigation.
As you do.
He is also accused of trying to hide the spending by directing an employee to create false invoices. After an investigation began, he told the employee in a text, "I can't lie anymore." Last week, William Tulios, superintendent of Argo Community High School, resigned as part of an agreement with the school board. He was put on leave in April, a few months after this publication reported on his questionable spending. Through a public records request, Thursday, this publication obtained a 111-page report on the investigation into Tulios's credit card spending. It was done by the Ackerman law firm and the Meaden and Moore accounting firm. In an interview Thursday, Tulios's attorney, Frank Avila, said his client made mistakes in his spending but did not intentionally violate policy. He said Tulios decided to resign because the spending had become a distraction. He loves the school. He has done a lot of good for the school, Avila said. According to the report, Tulios used an app to buy adult content online. And though such apps hide the nature of the spending, Tulios told the board that the expenditure was for a conservative publication. He said he had a personal subscription and mistakenly used his school credit card. Tulios never presented evidence showing he had a subscription, the report said, but the investigation said Tulios' story changed over time. He later claimed that his school credit card had been compromised, resulting in the adult content expenditures, the report said. The report included text messages from Tulios and his wife that indicated he had asked the school's bookkeeper and accountant to create false invoices. Those invoices were produced in response to a resident's public records request.
It's probably his neighbor went after him.
Wasn't me.
Also, I don't know how you mistakenly. He didn't know he breached policy. Buddy, that's got to be rule number. It may not be rule number 1, but it's certainly rule number 2.
I don't understand. I'm going to ask this question, and I probably shouldn't. Or I'm going to say this, and I probably should. I don't understand.
It's a lot of money to spend on that particular thing if that's where you're going.
Right. There's a lot of free out there. Right? I mean, if that's your thing and you're in, I mean, what?
You can just type it in.
You just type it in and it's there. It's like, it feels like sometimes it's 60, 70% of the internet. So why would you spend the company's credit card?
Have you ever seen Ted 2?
No.
Their motto in that movie is you're only 2 clicks away from that on the internet.
I mean, right? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Maybe he was looking for some real stuff.
Real specific stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, people have personal peccadillos.
Yes, they do.
They do.
And some people
I have another quote for him.
You're into toes. I guess you got to pay for it. I don't know.
I have another text quote.
Please.
He wrote, I am sorry I can't lie anymore, and I can't live with myself. I have ruined all that I hold dear in this world, and I can't even begin to describe how much I can't stop crying for what I did to everyone. I deserve what I have. It's not your fault. It's mine.
Oh, that's nice. He takes responsibility for his porn addiction. That's good. That's good.
Maybe that fella collects teacups.
Maybe there's a website for that. I don't know.
Look it up, Brother Jackson.
Not on the word computer.
Look up teacupsforthetookus.com.
I'll get right on that.
Caboosecoffee.com.
Oh, I'm getting fired.
Ken, why don't you go next?
All right, boys. Here we go. This out of the state of Connecticut. Connecticut State Police apprehended 2 men, Andrew Scott Lampkin and Jonathan Riopel, who were allegedly attempting to steal a large highway sign from I-91 on November 5th. The men were charged with third-degree larceny, reckless use of a highway by a pedestrian, and improper parking on a highway after being found with the sign strapped to a pickup truck. Lampkin, 42, and Riopelli, 46, stole the large highway sign from I-91 around 8:30 in the morning on November 5th. They faced third-degree larceny, reckless use of a highway by a pedestrian, and improper parking on a highway. The key evidence, according to the arresting officer, was the sign found strapped to the bed of their pickup truck. They had no explanation.
Uh-huh.
I like how there's a law there in Connecticut. Reckless use of a highway.
What? Isn't that just reckless driving?
Well, this is reckless use of a highway by a pedestrian.
Well. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I think
guess that's not driving.
Tennessee's got a law. I don't think you're allowed to walk along the interstate.
No, I saw a dude the other day on a bicycle. And I thought, man,
Was
you're going
he
to
using
get
the bike lanes?
Well, he was on the interstate. There aren't technically no bike lanes on the interstate.
You just give it time. I'm sure they'll put them in.
Well, I mean, he looked like he was a traveling man. I mean, this was a bicycle. He had a bunch of crap on it, like backpacks and whatever strapped to it. I was like, oh, this guy's going places. But he was on the interstate. He was on the side of the road, just pedaling down the road. I was like, well, I mean, you're going to get stopped, right? You can't have a bicycle on the interstate.
You can't do that.
No, you get run over. All right, here's mine, gentlemen. I don't know if I can beat those two, but I'll do my best. After being arrested for breaking into a Circle K store at 2:15 a.m. in the morning and stealing a bag of beef jerky, an Illinois man told police, quote, "I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but there's AI intelligence speakers in my neck." Police charged that Cole Bertels, 33, kicked in the front glass door of a convenience store in St. Charles, Missouri, then climbed into the locked business and proceeded to eat a bag of beef jerky and drink a sweet tea that he did not pay for. When cops arrived at Circle K, Bertels was detained and asked about the break-in. He reportedly confessed, saying the voices in my head told me to kick it open since it was locked and that he just wanted to use the bathroom. Bertels also said that he had artificial intelligence in his neck. He said it was it's unclear what role the implant played in the alleged burglary. Bertels, whose residence is about 40 miles from the Missouri store, added that he walked to the Circle K from Illinois. Bertels was arrested for burglary, a felony, property damage, second-degree misdemeanor. He was also charged with stealing property valued at less than $150, locked up in lieu of a $2,500 cash bond. Bertels has been ordered to have no contact with Circle K and submit to a mental health evaluation if he bonds out of custody. Until his parole earlier this year, Bertels was locked up in Illinois State Prison for aggravated robbery. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison. So Mr. Bertels is my nincompoop. He says that he has artificial intelligence lodged in his neck.
Did they do a CT scan?
I don't know that they did a CT scan, but
Innocent until proven guilty.
Let me tell you something. Whatever he's got going on in his neck, he's got good taste, because I love some delicious beef jerky and I love a sweet tea. And I mean, good for him. You know,
he was specific.
Well, that's right. It's protein, so you're keeping it healthy in the convenience. You're trying to keep it healthy in the convenience store.
Yeah.
Now, I would have gone with a diet sweet tea. You know, I like mine with the Splenda in it, you know, so you don't drink your calories. But one way or the other, good for you, Mr. Bertels. Hope it works out for you. That's how we play Nincompoops in the News. You get to vote. Ken Weaver, Jackson Williams, or Matt Murphy, 615-737-9986. It's 53 after the hour on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Peak holiday travel has been underway all day today. Gio Benitez.
90% of people will be driving. That's 73 million of you. The busiest days today, tomorrow, and Sunday. The worst time to hit the road today is between noon and 9 p.m. Tomorrow, you're going to want to get going before 11 a.m. And here's another big number for you. 1.2 million people will be taking a train.
Here in Tennessee, AAA projects 1.9 million of us are going to be traveling at least 50 miles from home between now and Monday, setting a new record for the state. About 1.8 million will drive, 51,000 Tennesseans will fly. And if you live in Franklin and will be traveling out of town, Franklin Police offering a vacation patrol service while you're away. Submit your request online at franklintn.gov by providing your travel dates, contact info, and details about your home. Remember, patrols aren't guaranteed, so secure your property before leaving. Early voting in the 7th Congressional District special election ends after today, or after tomorrow. Election Day is Tuesday. House Speaker Mike Johnson telling WTN's Matt Murphy Trump-backed Matt Van Epps will be the deciding vote on major legislation if he wins, and robust Republican voter turnout is key.
One more day of early voting. Please go. It's critical we bank that vote early. And then we need everybody who hasn't voted to get out there strong. Tuesday, December 2nd. You know, it's in the middle of the holiday season.
Recent polling claims Van Epps is leading Democrat Afton Bain by 8 to 10 points. The half-dozen Democratic veterans of the military and intelligence community who appeared in a video urging troops to ignore illegal orders are now being contacted by the FBI. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the latest from Washington.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the video's vague rhetoric undermines trust, creates hesitation in the chain of command, and erodes cohesion. The Democrats say urging service members to ignore illegal orders simply restates the law they're all expected to follow. With the FBI now seeking interviews with the Democrats who appeared on camera, Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin said the use of the FBI to, quote, target us is exactly why we made this video in the first place.
Prosecutors on New York's Long Island say they've broken up a ring of porch pirates, people who hacked into a FedEx delivery system to track when and where packages showed up. We get more from ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Officials releasing videos they say show the alleged pattern. A FedEx employee drops off a box, and moments later, a thief swipes it and flees in a waiting car. The stolen phones were allegedly taken to a stash house in the Bronx in garbage bags before they were resold in the United States and internationally. Investigators say they recovered more than 200 mobile phones and tens of thousands of dollars in cash.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Over by the airport, police reporting an injury crash Donaldson Pike at Terminal Drive. In Madison, a crash 65 northbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. And in Antioch, injury crash 24 eastbound at Haywood Lane. Kingston Springs in Cheatham County, US 70 north of East Kingston Springs Road still closed. Williamson County now. I'm seeing that Lewisburg Pike, just north of 840, is closed due to a crash. Highway Patrol on the scene there. Downtown Nashville, East Loop, going westbound, got a crash right before James Robertson Parkway. And then in Laverne now, we got a crash 24 westbound past Old Hickory Boulevard south. And in Murfreesboro, Highway Patrol reporting a crash 24 eastbound before Old Fort Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, Super Talk 99.7 WTN, final hour of this Tuesday edition, November 25. It is Thanksgiving week, and I give thanks for each and every one of you, every single one of you listening, every single one of you communicating. Maybe you do so on the Super Text line, 615-737-9986. Perhaps you join us on the phone lines at the same telephone number, 615-737-9986. Maybe you gave yesterday to the Nashville Rescue Mission Radiothon, which we were so pleased to present to you. Perhaps you're joining us over on the Talk TV side of things, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. Maybe even communicating over there on the YouTube chat. I just said hey to all the YouTube chatters. Crazy bunch of folk over there, and I appreciate each of you talking about the issues that we address on the radio show. I thank you. I know Ken Weaver thanks you. Jackson, you want to thank everybody?
Let's go.
What? Jackson?
Yes. Thanks, everybody.
What was that? Let's go. What was that all about?
Nothing.
No, nothing.
Just excited to thank the people.
Oh, were you? Oh, were you now?
Yeah.
Okay. What? Okay. All right.
I don't even have the game on anymore, right, Ken?
It's not on anymore.
You just do the news, boys.
I just do the news, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. What's halftime?
Yeah.
What's the score there, Jackson?
All right.
What?
Tennessee.
Oh, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, at 6:08 this evening, it's time. It's time for an Action Jackson Sports Update.
All right, Tennessee and Las Vegas in the Players Era Tournament. This is men's basketball. Tennessee taking on the number 3 team in the country, Houston. Houston knocked Tennessee out of the NCAA tournament last season in the Elite Eight. Tennessee down at halftime, 39-35. It's a dogfight in Las Vegas. These are two teams with very similar playing styles. These two coaches coached together earlier in their careers. Kelvin Sampson for the University of Houston and Rick Barnes for the University of Tennessee. And I'm going to get through this. And Tennessee.
Oh, excuse me.
Tennessee looking solid. They're hanging with one of the best teams, one of the top rosters in college basketball. Going to be interesting to see how this second half unfolds.
I wasn't attempting to disparage your effort there, Jackson. I appreciate the Action Jackson sports updates, but I got a little bored because I know there's no such thing as basketball before football season ends. So I don't know why you're making all of this up.
This is one of the top. You know what they're competing for, right?
They're competing for the privilege of continuing to compete in the SEC later on this year?
No, up to $2 million in additional NIL funds.
Oh. Well, that makes it kind of worse.
Why is that worse?
I don't know.
Can help your program.
I don't know.
$2 million's another
Just
transfer
don't.
portal player.
I just like to live under the illusion that these people care about their teams and not just about the money.
$2 million is an additional top portal piece.
We're buying and selling human beings again. My God, what have we become? I like, is that new? I like the new. I feel like that's new.
That's the basketball one.
Oh, is it?
I got a hockey one, but the Preds are terrible. I'm never going to use it.
I like that. I like that new Action Jackson sports update. I appreciate that. I appreciate that Gary has held on for as long as he has. He's in Manchester. Gary, the floor is yours. You're on the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What is going on, Gary?
Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking my call.
Of course.
My name is Gary Kivanimi, and I've been the former president of the Old Stone Fort Bridge Preservation Group here in Manchester for 2 years. And we've been fighting TDEC, who has dedicated themselves to tearing down our historic 118-year-old bridge in Old Stone State Park. And to do so, we have a court case as well as a lot of information showing that there's been a lot of information, I'd say are lies, to get the permits to do the damage to the river and that sort of thing. And anyway, we have the support of our local county mayor, which is Dennis Hunt, our local conservative representative, Rush Bricken, our local conservative senator, Janice Bowling, and I think you would find, with the surveys been done and the information on social media, that we have 99% of the people of Coffee County and visitors to the park who do not want this 118-year-old bridge torn down.
Why are they considering tearing it down?
Well, they made a pledge to themselves 20 years ago to tear down all steel bridges in Tennessee. That's TDOT's proposal. But this bridge is not a highway bridge. It is simply a bridge that goes from the main campground to the main park to a campground. And that campground now has a brand new entrance they built in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
There's also they're supposed to claim that there's no parallel bridge for this access, and that's a lie because we have a brand new bridge that was built on Highway 41. They also have to claim that the damage to the river is de minimis, which is trivial and of no great concern. And we actually have a court case right now that's pending in December to have a permanent injunction where they have to go back from stage one and start again. Part of it, I honestly believe that TDEC probably does 95% of their projects are well worthy and the people appreciate them. But in this particular case, they have ignored the public. We had over 100 people at a public meeting. They only let you speak for 3 minutes and will not answer questions. They have thwarted us in every way. We have emails where they claim between them, in their internal emails that they're striving hard to thwart our efforts to save the bridge. I mean, it's really tragic.
Gary, you're flooding the zone, and I'm trying to keep
sorry,
up.
Man.
No, it's okay. I appreciate your passion on the issue, and I appreciate what you're talking about. And I'm vaguely aware of this issue, but I'm for those of us who have not gotten to the point that you are with it, you've got to help us keep up and catch up.
Oh,
so start from the beginning. So the TDEC wants to tear down the bridge.
That's right, and they are doing so right now.
And have they started tearing down the bridge?
No. What they've started doing is all the bulldozing on the banks, and they've cut hundreds of trees, and they did that this week, immediately after a judge ruled that he would be willing to issue a stay on the bridge, but he required $260,000 bond. So we've already spent $80,000 on personal people's money for legal fees. I mean, these people are dedicated to this. All you have to go is look on Facebook at Old Stone Fort Preservation Group.
Am I looking at the right page here? The Save Our Old Stone Fort Bridge.
That's one of them.
Okay, and the bridge is green?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm looking at the right bridge. How old is this bridge?
It's 119 years old this year. and it was moved to that location specifically for access to the campground in 1970s.
Okay.
And for 55 years, people in this community have taken their families, they've taken graduation pictures, they've taken weddings. They celebrate this bridge because, in a small community like Manchester and Coffee County, there's not a lot of iconic, beautiful places. And this is our iconic, beautiful place for people to gather and do things. And, we've got a slogan. It's Save the Bridge. And that's because it's very still in good shape and utilitarian. We have Saved the River because the governor issued a Duck River executive order to save damage to the river. We have Save the Money. It's $10 million.
Are they so? What they want to do is tear down the bridge and replace it.
They want to put a concrete slab bridge in there, a one-lane bridge.
They're claiming. What's their claim? Do they claim that the bridge is unsafe?
Well, they did claim that, but I want to point out the fallacy in that, if I may. For 50 years, every 2 years, it has to get inspected, and it has tested or inspected as in pretty darn good shape all that time. In fact, it was reconditioned to some degree in 2009, and but by 2017, which was only 8 years later, it was supposed to be good for another 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
But 8 years later, federal funds came available through the Improve Act.
Oh, okay.
Give us a bunch of millions of dollars of federal funds here, and we'll match it with 20%.
So the claim, I'm reading from the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation webpage.
Yes, sir.
And their claim is that the truss bridge at Old Stone Fort. I'm not saying I agree with this, Gary. I'm just trying to help people who are trying to catch up too. Okay, so
I understand.
Their claim is that the truss bridge at Old Stone Fort State Archaeological Park was declared unsafe for vehicular traffic, and that temporary access to the campground was established via the adjacent Country Club Drive that raised traffic concerns among local residents, and it was always designed to be temporary. So,
okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Those are all factual, provable lies. Here's, oh my, it's so frustrating.
Can you help me understand why would they? I mean, and I'm just trying to talk with you about this and try to understand.
Sure.
Why would they lie about this?
Well, I don't know the agenda of people. I really do not know the agenda, but either they are ignorant, they have incompetent inspectors, or there's something driving it that might have to do with money. I don't know. I don't want to accuse anybody of that, but that doesn't mean it's not so. But here's the thing. Rush Bricken is our representative. Janice Bowling is our senator. Dennis Hunt and the entire county commission, voted for a resolution to request the state not tear down that bridge. They recently gave our organization $36,000 in tourist money to help us with legal fees to save this thing. You cannot find somebody that's not on the outskirts, really, that would want to tear this bridge down. And here's what we did immediately when they said the bridge was unsafe. We hired independent inspectors who are experts. Oh, my. Did I lose you all? Oh, no.
No,
okay.
I'm here.
Anyway, okay.
I'm listening.
We hired inspectors out of Indiana who restore steel truss bridges. And so we paid them $7,800 for a really thorough inspection. And they shared that information with the state, and the state did not counter the findings of our organization, which was, even though the state said it was going to take $3.5 million to repair that bridge, our people found that they could do it for $320,000 and would do it for that.
So I'm just trying to figure out who's making money off this.
Well, I honestly don't know the answer to that.
Right. I mean, I'm trying to track it back to money. I mean, I mean, this is in a state park. Yes, I don't know why so I'm trying to figure it out, right? So this is an old bridge that the people in the community want to save.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
By a incredible,
Right. So
majority.
and it's not a major thoroughfare; it's a state park.
It's a state park,
Uh-huh.
and it goes only to the campground. And they're planning on closing their expensive entrance off Country Club Drive, even though a survey of all those people by the state and by us shows they much prefer that entrance. They much prefer saving the bridge. And we even surveyed, and I have letters from our fire chief, our rescue squad, our police chief, and our sheriff that all say to this question: if you had to answer a call in the campground, what path do you prefer to take? 100% of them emphatically say Country Club Drive, not over a one-lane bridge. 100%.
So, what can I do to help?
Well, this talking about it should help a lot. Nick Barris just printed something. Demetria Kaladimas has covered it twice.
Mm-hmm.
But you get snippets of information. I mean, the blessing you're giving me right now to share this for a few minutes is just fantastic.
Where was the bridge originally, Gary? Do you know?
Yes, I do. It was over the Elk River between Coffee County and Franklin County. And they replaced it with a highway bridge because it had been in existence since 1906.
Right.
And so they replaced it with a good bridge. And the state park system had enough sense to say, well, wait, we can use this bridge as access to our campground.
Mm-hmm.
And they did in 1970. And it has served us well. Here's what they've failed to do. They failed to acknowledge that this bridge is an iconic gathering place for the community of Coffee County and Manchester and visitors who love it. And they failed to say, man, this is a great asset. Let's take advantage of it.
And I'm looking at some, and by the way, I'm looking at some of the renderings of the new, and it's just it's just garbage. I mean, well, there's nothing wrong with it. It does not have the character of.
It would be great out on a highway.
Yeah, that's fine, but it doesn't have the character of what you're looking for at a state park, and the old bridge does, and obviously it has the history behind it and all of that. Sure.
Yeah, may I mention one thing that is insane? This bridge is going to be $10 million, maybe 12 by the time they get it finished. But anyway, we pay almost 4% interest on national debt right now. That is $400,000 a year. That's $1,095 a day. Do you know how many vehicles at the maximum will cross that bridge? 25 people a day.
A day. And so you said
that's $44.
And forgive me for tilling over old ground, but you mentioned that there was an assessment of what it would take to repair what they claim to be the structural deficiencies of the bridge, and it would cost how much?
Well, the state said $3.5 million because they wanted to replace it. But our experts and their contractors said they can fix what the state said was wrong for $320,000, which is pretty darn minor, and that for $560,000 they can add some things to the list that might be wise, so that it's still good for another.
And you've got Janice Bowling.
Oh, absolutely.
On your team.
I hope you will call her.
Yeah, I will. I know Janice.
I hope you will call. She is livid that the state's doing
so
this.
What? So
livid.
they're already doing. They haven't touched the bridge yet, right?
They have not touched the bridge proper, but they take it. But this week, after a court hearing, they rushed. They ordered the contractor get your butt in there and start ripping these trees out. They want to demoralize us.
Well, I understand. I understand how they operate. They just think that you're a small cadre of individuals. I mean, yeah, I get it. I understand how this. I just don't understand. I just don't understand if it's federal money that they're salivating over, or why the insistence that they have to replace as opposed to just repair whatever structural deficiencies they claim is wrong and let it go at that.
Well, I'll tell you what they're saying. They're saying, we want this to handle RV traffic the size of these big buses that are 56,000 pounds, of which 1% of all the campers are that, 1%. And this campground will not hold those yet anyway. They won't even hold them. People don't go there with those buses. But besides that, they've got a beautiful entrance off Country Club Drive.
And the residents of the Country Club Drive don't seem to mind that entrance.
They much prefer it to tearing down the bridge. much prefer. Well, here's what they ask for, because unfortunately a quarter of a mile or less of Country Club Drive is owned by the city, the county, and the park system, basically. And the park, by putting that entrance in there, is required by law to improve that little quarter of a mile, which they need to widen. And the people want it widened a little bit.
Gary, so if we're at the stage where they're encroaching upon the actual structure itself with bulldozers and whatever, what are our options? Where are we in terms of legal options?
Well, our last legal option that I know of is the case we have here in December in local court.
Okay.
The judge ruled that he was going to hold it here, even though the state asked for a change of venue. But we've already gone through almost a year of administrative hearings, which they require us to do before we go to court. And we've spent about $80,000 to do so. But what they do is they stomp on you. How many people can gather enough people to support a cause?
Why do we have to tear down old things just to tear down old things? I don't understand why we can't keep the old things that we have and the nostalgia associated with them. It burns my ass. I mean, whether it's Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway or whatever it is. So look, so Janice is probably the right person for me to talk to, Gary.
I sure hope you will.
I mean, I'll
get it for you.
No, I've got it. I'll reach out. No, okay. I can find her. I'll reach out to her. I'm glad you brought this topic up tonight. I had someone, and maybe it was you, Gary. I don't know who it was. I had someone email me about a month or two ago about this, and I did not get back to that person. So whoever it was, if you're listening, I'm sorry about that. But I'm on top of it, Gary. I'll do anything I can, and I hope it's not too late.
Well, I'll tell you, it's only too late if they have subscribed to what's called sunk cost fallacy, which is when you've got new wisdom that something wasn't supposed to be done and you shouldn't continue it, you don't stop because you're so invested in it. That's what gamblers do, you know. We got to go back. I got to recover the money I just lost, right? Well, they ought to learn from this. Besides that, if they will do what should be done to that park, they will build restrooms out there. They'll build a parking lot out there. They'll put some picnic tables out there, and they'll celebrate it for what it is and what the people love it for. They will celebrate it, and they'll have events out there. And they can do that with the damage they've already done and plant a few trees back, and it'll be okay. They haven't killed the river yet.
Well, I love that part of Tennessee. Absolutely love it down in Manchester. It's beautiful down there, and I'm going to try to do what I can, whatever I can, to help facilitate a solution that doesn't involve destroying something for no good reason. There seems to be options here. Maybe they didn't. It feels like there's a lot of bullying that's going on, and we'll try to get this to the right people. Gary, thank you for calling in today. I'm out of time, but I appreciate your call.
I got you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you very much. It's 27 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Men of Valor. I have a wonderful opportunity to step on the campus of the Men of Valor organization just in a week from now, and we'll have a wonderful day of giving coming up. And I'll tell you more about that as the days move on into next week. It is next week on the second day of December that we'll be out at the Men of Valor Ridge campus, and I look forward to talking with you about some of the wonderful opportunities out there for the men that are getting out of our prison system. 90% of the men get out of the prison system that go in. What kind of men do you want coming out? Do you want good men, givers as opposed to takers? Do you want people that have learned lives of crime or people who have learned about the life of Jesus Christ? Well, obviously, the ministry at Men of Valor is focused on bringing those men out of the prison system and helping them understand how to be productive members of society. That's what it's all about, because it reduces recidivism and ultimately reduces the amount of money that we're paying in taxes. The ministry primarily funded by people like you, families, churches, and individuals like yourself. Will you give as you can? Men of Valor it can be found at movministry.com. That's movministry.com. Men of Valor. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Genesis Diamonds. Genesis Diamonds, your one-stop shop for all things Christmas holiday shopping. And this weekend at Genesis, they're blowing out with a massive Black Friday sale on lab-grown diamond stud earrings. The most popular holiday gift is now at an unbelievable price at Genesis. Listen to this. 2-carat lab-grown diamond studs, just $499. 3-carat lab-grown diamond studs, just $799. 4 carats, $999 at Genesis Diamonds. You've never seen certified diamond stud earrings at prices like these. Imagine her opening a 4-carat diamond stud earring a pair for just under $1,000. But don't wait. This incredible offer is limited to the first 50 customers at Genesis Diamonds. And so if you go too late, you'll be too late. Hurry in this Friday, Saturday, and Cyber Monday only. Genesis Diamonds store hours and more details at genesisdiamonds.com. genesisdiamonds.com. For Genesis Diamonds, while supplies last, see store for details. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy. The Matt Murphy Show in progress. 7522 says, Matt, that man is originally from Indiana. He's not a native Manchester, Tennessee person. He's making up this cause. He has an obsession with the bridge, and his group, they're crazy. Please don't become a bridge person. We call them bridge people because they're crazy. They have an obsession with that old bridge that they moved in from somewhere else to that state park 50 years ago. It's got nothing to do with the damn history of Manchester, Tennessee. Every bridge in Manchester, Tennessee was a steel-type bridge when I was a child growing up, and I'm glad they're all gone. The local politicians just want their votes. I'm waiting for them to start chaining themselves to the bridge or jumping off of it. They're crazy. And there's another perspective, another point of view. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I learned about this old stone fort bridge issue I guess it was like 2 months ago, because I was in the midst of rehab on my shoulder. I'm just dating it that way. And I don't know enough about it to have any opinion on it. I don't understand why the state would be so insistent on replacing it, except that it is an access issue. Of course, previous caller said it was not an access issue. Then if that's the case, then it becomes a money issue. And who's earning the money, who's making the money, why they would gravitate to this particular location to earn money or to grift. I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. I know progress stings on occasion, and if absolutely necessary, you give up some of the old to get the benefit of the new. But if there's no benefit, then why would you necessarily tear down something just because it's been there a long time? If it can be repaired, repair the thing, or better yet, turn it into a pedestrian bridge, a walking bridge, or a bridge for people to, run 4x4s over, and build a bridge access that has an RV capability to it somewhere else, right down the river or whatever. I mean, I don't know. It seems like there is a little compromise coming from the state, but I, unlike some people who are responding to this issue, I don't necessarily automatically believe that Governor Bill Lee is an awful person, or Stuart McQuarter necessarily is an awful person, or whomever is responsible for any of this, just because decisions have been made. I don't quite understand why those decisions have been made, but I'm new here, right? I'm new on this issue here, and I'm willing to listen. Rick says there isn't a reason for a new bridge. Well, there's a reason for a new bridge if they deemed that the bridge is unsafe to vehicular traffic. So you can't just ignore that. Right? So, but I'm not against keeping the bridge. Trust me, I'm predisposed to keep the bridge, as a matter of fact. I'm just trying to learn about the issue. And it seems to me, based on the response that we've gotten, is that there are two sides on this that have dug in, and they're pointing fingers and accusing the other side of being awful people. And that is, well, that's trouble, because it's a difficult place to start from for me. And I don't quite understand how that got to that place, but I'll try to figure it out. If you want to call on the issue, call on the issue. Don't call I don't know why people are calling you and hanging up, but don't call Jackson just to hang up. 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. Like Rick says, it's a 100% waste of money. There isn't a reason for a new bridge. Well, I think even our caller there said that there was a legitimate decision that it was not safe for vehicular traffic anymore. And I would want to know who has the contract on the new bridge and why. I mean, it's an issue that's really, really important to the people of Manchester, and that's evidenced by the amount of people that have responded on the issue. Speaking of issues of importance, did you see that Zuckerberg's company, Meta, is now admitting that they designed Instagram to be as addictive as it is? I told y'all. Meta knowingly downplayed the addictive nature of social media products that its own researchers privately compared to drugs as a part of the broader effort to conceal the impact of platforms on teenage mental health. The brief was filed as part of a years-long lawsuit brought by school districts across the country alleging that social media platforms, including Meta, YouTube, TikTok, and Snap, knowingly designed products that would addict teenagers and others to harm their mental health. That would necessarily harm their mental health. It wasn't specifically designed to do so. A judge ordered a 5,807-page filing to be declassified October 30th. The filing includes troves of internal communication between Meta and others, conducting internal study that confirmed Instagram and Facebook created negative outcomes for teenagers, including addiction, sleep deprivation, anxiety, depression, and body image issues. One internal user experience researcher wrote in a chat with a colleague, "Gosh, y'all, IG is a drug. We're basically pushers." If I had it on bound, what would you do? Do you think you're addicted to social media, Jackson?
I'm addicted to Twitter, man.
I kind of am too.
I know you are.
I kind of am too. I have to stop myself looking at Twitter while I'm doing a radio show, right? This is an admission, right?
I'm with you.
I'm doing a radio show. I'm talking to someone. And sometimes when you see me, if you're watching on Super Talk TV, you see me pick up my phone, it's because I got a text message. And I want to make sure I know what. But I find myself looking at Twitter while I'm on the phone with. I got to get away from it. I'm addicted to it.
Twitter is definitely my most used social media. Hell, Matt, I walked in there about an hour during the Mike Johnson interview. And me and you sat in silence
while you were on Twitter
for about 5 minutes while both of us were on Twitter.
Yeah, it's true. We were both on Twitter.
It is addictive.
It is. If I could, on balance, I would eliminate social media. If you gave me the keys to the kingdom, and I'm not saying I understand the free speech ramifications, I understand all of the rest of it, but I would just push a button and it would disappear if I had the ability to do it. I think we would be a better world if that's the case. We're addicted to information, sure. We're addicted to the immediacy of what the internet has brought us. But the confirmation bias there's a confirmation bias that goes on. There's an importance bias that goes on. There's a belief that we're far more important people than we are. I don't think that that's the case here, and I don't think that's the case in most corners of the world. But we believe that because, you click it and you get the likes and you get the thumbs up and you get the hearts or whatever the hell you get. And this is just one of those examples that the organizers of this knew. It's a drug. It's a drug. It's a drug. And the children need to be segregated away from it as best we possibly can. At very least, prevent the kids from being addicted to it before they know what the hell they're doing, and then give the information to grown people in a way that they can make decisions for themselves. Joseph writes it and says, I'm one of those bridge people, come at me, bro. Well, tell me why the bridge is so important. I mean, I'm just learning about the situation. 2042 says, Gary's crazy. He lives near me. The bridge means nothing to original residents of Coffee County, and he needs a cause for. Is Gary kind of the organizer of this cause or what? I'll get to the bottom of it. Maybe not this week because we've got a short week due to the Thanksgiving holiday, but next week, we'll try to figure it out. It's 48 after the hour, one final segment to go. And don't worry, we'll be here tomorrow as well. We've got a big-time pre-Thanksgiving special for you on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. For the record, did you guys hear that promo? Did you hear the promo just a moment ago? For the record, I heard it. I didn't turn the CNN off. I don't know
Dan
who did.
would have done that. That would have been Chris Hand's show.
That would have been Dan Mandis that did that. I did not. I never turned the CNN off. I watch CNN so you folks don't have to. It's an obligation that I take very seriously on the Matt Murphy Show. I also take very seriously your health and my health and the efficacy and the way that Grace Point Healthcare does their business. Affordable, convenient, and comprehensive medicine done the old-fashioned way. It's a direct pay primary care provider. What does that mean? Well, two things. One, you pay Grace Point, and then you can apply to your insurance company for reimbursement. Easy for me to say. Well, that's the way that it ought to work, right? I mean, you do the necessary treatment that you need to get better, and then your insurance company takes care of whatever you've done. Sadly, the insurance companies are now inserting themselves in the middle of the process, and this is not good. It's not good for anyone, and it certainly destroys the sacrosanct nature of your doctor-patient relationship. Well, they don't believe in doing it that way at Grace Point. That's why I love them. That's why I believe in them, and that's why I recommend them. 599-6868, 599-6868. It's more affordable as a result of this model. And because you know what you pay, you know exactly what your medical care is costing you. Number 3, you can get this basic Smart Care plan for $99 a month for adults and $79 a month for kids, and you have unlimited access to Grace Point Healthcare through regular appointments, and you get free basic labs and diagnostics. That's what it's all about. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way in Franklin. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I would tell you to call in, but Jackson has decided he doesn't want to take calls anymore because he's too busy watching a basketball game while being paid. 615. Oh, I started to do the number anyway. I guess you could text in. I have access to that. No. Don't you do that now. You X'd them out, Pally.
Got tired of the prank calls.
Are we getting pranked? Is that who keeps calling in?
Yeah, they call in. There's nothing on the line.
Yeah, and they hang up on you.
Yep.
So now I'm being told, once again, I'm knee-deep in this conversation, and I don't know what to believe. Jackson says the conversation's boring. That's what he told me. Now, maybe some of you agree with Jackson. I don't know. It's intriguing to me because you're dealing with old-school people that want to save something that's been a part of that area for, 55 years now, and the bridge itself is 100 and some odd years old. I mean, but you're not saving a bridge just because it's old, right? If it's not functional anymore, I mean, there's plenty of things that are old and unfunctional, but if the people of the community want it that badly, then we should make every effort to try to save it. And so I'm just trying to catch up and trying to figure out what's real. And because we seem to have two groups of people that have gone into a corner and they have staked their claim in their corner. And I don't know that they're not listening to each other. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But right now I'm being told there's no good reason to tear down that bridge. Well, there's got to be some reason. And then we learned that, well, it's not good for vehicular traffic. And then some people are telling me they could take Country Club Drive, whatever. And then I get this. I personally know one of the TDOT engineers. They're just moving the bridge, not destroying it. And I said, where to? And they said just down the river to be pedestrian only. So is that true? Well, that's okay, right? Move the bridge down the river, make a pedestrian bridge out of it. Replace this with a bridge that is accessible to RV or vehicular traffic, and then, is that not good? Is it okay if we move the bridge? I asked to the bridge people, to the bridge preservationists. Is that okay with you? I don't know. It would seem that would be a good compromise. You're saving the bridge. The bridge got moved before. The bridge is not in its original place that it started at. The bridge got moved in 1970, according to folks. I don't know. I'm just asking. Rick agrees with Jackson. Rick says, I can give a rat's ass about the old bridge. I'm concerned about the millions of dollars being wasted. I would agree with you there. If it's a waste of money, then sure. This is an 80-20 issue. I'm in the 80% zone. I don't understand why the state wants to replace the bridge when they already have put it in another access. Nor do I understand why people are so concerned about the bridge. I think that's where I'm at from 3452. It's like, okay, I get it. I don't want them to waste money just to waste money, spend money just to spend money. It feels like they decided, we've got access to some of this federal dollars and we need to spend it on something. But at the same time, it's an old steel bridge. At first, when I heard about this issue, I thought it was a stone bridge because, it's the old stone fort bridge. And I thought, it must be a stone bridge. I shouldn't have assumed that. It's not. It's a steel truss bridge. And that's fine, too. But if they're not destroying it, then what's the big deal? I don't know. Maybe there isn't a big deal. Hey, in the meantime, you remember the ShamWow guy? Were you too old for the ShamWow guy?
No,
You're too young?
the ShamWow.
Yeah, ShamWow is running for Congress. And no, before you ask me, he's not dead. Although he did get in trouble with the law. The former pitchman, known for his role selling the ShamWow towel. Everybody remembers ShamWow guy. He is running for Congress to replace Representative John Carter, who served more than 2 decades. He's running out in Texas. His name is Vince Shlomi. Huh. Well, good luck, Vince. If you're as good at selling yourself as you were at selling those little towels that would wipe up anything, you're going to do great in Congress. That's going to wrap it up for us. I hope you have a wonderful evening, folks. Take care. We'll be back tomorrow for a pre-Thanksgiving episode of the Matt Murphy Show. Until then, hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.